The governor of the state of Illinois has declared a gubernatorial disaster proclamation in response to COVID-19 outbreak, and all of the village of Glendale Heights is covered by the disaster area. In light of the ongoing COVID-19 outbreak, the village president of the village of Glendale Heights has determined that an in-person meeting for the February 3, 2022 village board meeting is not practical or prudent in light of the disaster. All of the trustees of the village board participating in the February 3, 2022 village board meeting, wherever their physical location shall be verified and determined that they can hear one another and can hear all discussion and testimony during the meeting. Signed, Chaudhry Mark Hooker, Village President of the Village of Glendale Heights, dated February 3, 2022. I would like to call this village board meeting of Thursday, February 3, 2022 order. Will the clerk please take the roll?
President Coker,
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt,
Here.
Trustee Siddiqui,
Yes.
Trustee Light,
Here.
Trustee Meritato,
Here.
Trustee Pojek,
Here.
Trustee Schroeder.
Will you please stand up and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
We will continue with petitions and communications. Community announcement. Trustee Schmidt,
Thank you.
you welcome.
Glendale Heights Police Department, along with numerous other police departments across the country, have seen an uptick in people posting messages online and on social media instead of calling 911. These platforms are not monitored 24/7, and in times of emergency, every second counts. Please remember that the Glendale Heights Police Department cannot take a crime report over social media. In order to make a report, please contact the non-emergency number at 630-260-6070. And if you need immediate assistance or have an emergency, please remember to always call 911 and don't rely on social media. Get to know Village President Chaudhry Hoker, Police Chief George Pappas, and other members of the Glendale Heights Police Department at the Talk and Tour program on Saturday, February 26th, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Come and talk with us in the Village Police Department's EOC, and then from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., come and take a full tour of the police department with demonstrations and other informational topics. For more information, please call the police department's non-emergency number at 630-260-6070. Thank you.
Welcome. Trustee Siddiqui.
Thank you. Before I read community announcement, I want to wish all the best to our Glenbert West basketball team. They will be playing their game with California Sierra Canyon on this coming Saturday, and I know all the kids at Glenbert West are very excited, so go West. Thanks.
That's going to be a tough game.
As a reminder to residents, please do not shovel, snow blow, or plow any snow into village streets. This will help ensure our streets are clean and clear of any snow for safe driving. If you have any questions, please call the police department's non-emergency number 630-260-6070. DuPage County is now offering a 2-year crisis-only low-income household water assistance program. This program provides one-time assistance to prevent disconnection, restore water connection, and helps with fees associated to your water bill. The total benefit for one household is $1,500 for water and sewer. Residents can apply through DuPage County anytime during the 2 years in this program is being offered. DuPage County staff will review your water and sewer bills to determine how much needs to be paid for a required service. If you are at risk of disconnection or your service has already been disconnected, you can call 630-407-6500.
Trustee Light, please.
Thank you. The next coffee and chat with, with the village president and board will be this Saturday, February 5th, at the Center for Senior Citizens from 10 a.m. to noon. If you are unable to attend and have any comments, suggestions, or questions for the village president or village board, please call the village president's office anytime at 630-909-5302. With the spring season right around the corner, let's hope so, the Village of Glendale Heights would like to remind residents that many projects in and around the house may require a permit. Common projects needing a permit include working on decks, sheds, patios, re-siding of your house, and re-roofing. We would also like to remind you not to pay your contractor until they have contacted community development to ensure the work is up to code. If you're not sure if your project requires a permit or if you need to apply for one, please contact the Community Development Department at 630-260-6030. Thank you.
Trustee Morita, please.
Thank you. In cooperation with the Center for Senior Citizens, the DuPage County Senior Citizen Council is now offering a senior citizen handyman program for residents of DuPage County. The cost is $40 an hour for a handyman to come to your home for most small repairs. Senior citizens must be 60 years of age or better. To contact the Director of Home Maintenance, please call the DuPage Senior Citizen Council at 630-620-0804 or Ralph King at 630-546-0627. Are you looking to market your business in Glendale Heights? Consider joining the Glendale Heights Chamber of Commerce. The Glendale Heights Chamber meets for a monthly luncheon on the first Wednesday of each month from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Network with other businesses, learn about different events in the community, and market and grow your organization. For more information on joining the Glendale Heights Chamber of Commerce, please email director@glendaleheightschambers.com. Thank you.
Welcome. Trustee Pojek.
Thank you. The police department would like to remind residents of the parking regulations within the village during snowfall. There is no parking allowed on village streets designated as a snow route for 24 hours after a snowfall of 1 inch or more. There is no parking allowed on any village street for 24 hours after a snowfall of 2 inches or more. And there is no parking allowed on any village streets for 72 hours after a snowfall of 5 inches or more. If you have any questions regarding winter parking restrictions, please contact the Glendale Heights Police Department, non-emergency number 630-260-6070. Thank you.
You're welcome. Trustee Schroeder, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Register today for the Mother-Son Dance. Moms, put on your dancing shoes, and boys, come show off your best dance moves at our Coastal Craze theme dance. Enjoy an activity-filled evening complete with dinner and dessert. The Mother-Son Dance will be Friday, February the 25th from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Glendale Lakes Golf Club. Please register by February the 20th. The registration fee is $55 for residents and $65 for non-residents, and $26 for each additional child. For more information, please contact the Sports Hub at 630-260-6060. Also, they're going to have the dance for the daughters. So dance the night away at the annual Daddy-Daughter Dance on Saturday, February the 26th from 7 to 9 p.m. at Glendale Lakes Golf Club. We will be on a coastal craze for this year's theme. The evening will include dancing, dinner, and every participant will receive a souvenir to remember the night. So register by February the 20th. The registration fee is $55 for residents and $65 for non-residents, and $26 for each additional child. For more information, call the Sports Hub at 630-260-6060. Thank you, Mayor.
Welcome. Next, there is a call for a public meeting on Wednesday, February 16, 2022, at 6 p.m. to receive comments from the public regarding the Clan Creek Stream Restoration Project. We have the following proclamation. A proclamation to proclaim the month of February as Black History Month. A proclamation to proclaim the month of February as American Heart Month. A proclamation to proclaim the month of February as National Salute to Veteran Patients. If there is no objection, I will sign these proclamations.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So next, we now go on to public discussion of agenda items. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address this board on an agenda item?
Good evening, everybody.
Good.
Christopher Epstein. Just want to touch on a few bases. I know we keep on bringing up social media all the time and don't rely on it, but a lot of times I've found social media, especially in situations of getting information out to the public, a lot quicker. If there's an accident somewhere, it's going to come up a lot broader to the public, and people may avoid that particular area. So in certain situations, yeah, you call 911 first. But the thing is, social media can be a good tool if it's not abused. Second thing, attendance at the special board meeting. Glad to see a big attendance there. There's quite a few people here today, but usually it's not the case. But I'd like to maybe see that on a maybe 2 to 3 times a year, a special meeting, to have that, where people that work during the week can come on a Saturday and have that special particular meeting as well and discuss their ideas and things for the village. One of the things that was discussed during that was the cannabis. I'm not a fan of marijuana. I've never smoked any of it. I haven't used any of it except maybe the cream. I know a lot of people are in pain, and they've had their medications taken away from them. I think, there's been strong objection by members of the school board, but, I think they have other issues to worry about other than strictly cannabis. There are a lot harder drugs, there's alcohol, there's cigarette smoking that seem to cause more of an issue. And cannabis is more for people that, like myself, have arthritis and stuff. I'm going to be trying the gummies pretty soon and see how it works for me. I cleared it with my doctor the other day when I went to see him. So I'd like to see it here. And if anybody wants to pay my tax bill that's against this coming here, I'll be glad to provide them with my tax ID number, and they can go ahead and pay the bill for me with regards to that. With regards to sales tax revenue, Bill had mentioned and used a time frame at the special meeting from 2015 to 2021. And I'm wondering why he chose to go back that far. Yes, our tax revenue back in 2015 was quite a bit lower, but it increased significantly in 2016 and 2017. But the period between 2017 and 2021 was not that big. So I don't like the idea of a rosy picture all the time. Well, let's go far back and see how I want, up-to-date information for our people out in the village. One thing that was also brought up is, yes, I'd love to have a place to have breakfast in the village and stuff like that, and that we have enough fast food restaurants. I guarantee you, fast food restaurants probably bring in you the most sales tax revenue in this village, if I'm not mistaken. And with regards to that, it is a big income, and it stayed open for the most part during the pandemic because you had your drive-through. The other things with sales tax increase that we saw was because of the two anchors, Menards and Home Depot. They were allowed to be open because people still had to do repairs. So that's why we were able to generate enough tax revenue because of those two big anchors, and plus because of the number of fast food restaurants. I wouldn't mind seeing a few more in here, places that we don't have. But, that is something that we need to look at besides the cannabis with regards to that. I have no problems with that, and being somebody that, you asked me that 5 years ago, I would have been totally against it. But being medically, and I see it, people that utilize it, it does a lot benefit for them instead of taking the other drugs that they cannot get or suffer with taking alcohol and become alcoholics and alcoholism. I think that's a bigger problem, and cigarette smoking too, with people with secondhand smoke. I thank you for your time today, and you guys have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Epstein. Anybody else?
Hi, my name is Felicia Maselli, and I'm currently employed at Serenity House, which is a recovery center in Addison, Illinois. I also founded a foundation in my son's honor, who I lost to a drug overdose 9.5 years ago. I've had the pleasure of presenting to your board before and having some meetings, local town meetings, with the help of Tanya Macko, your community outreach police officer. But I'm here today to talk about ROSC, and ROSC stands for Recovery-Oriented Systems of Care. It's a coordinated network of community-based supports and services that are joining up to better serve those who are suffering from substance abuse and/or mental health disorders. When someone's trying to get sober, they might go to treatment, but it's incredibly rare that substance use is the only issues they're dealing with. It's often coupled with reoccurring mental health disorders, legal issues, housing problems, legal issues, lack of spirituality, and on and on. ROSC is trying to get all of these groups across the recovery continuum to get together and collaborate, which will better serve the residents of DuPage County who are seeking recovery. The ROSC is made up from members from organizations in DuPage, but also with persons with lived experience like myself. So I'm asking you here to sign up your email and find out more about ROSC, and asking Glendale Heights' cooperation in helping our residents that are seeking treatment, just like you have the assisted water bill assistance. Like, we need to know about that when we're trying to help people get their lives reconnected. And, your police department, with Tanya's help, I've always felt so connected. I don't have that liaison person to reach out to anymore at the police department. Don't know who in the community is more, going to be that person that talks about, mental health issues and addiction problems in your community. But whatever I can do, whoever that person is, I would love to connect and talk more about it. But if I can I pass a piece of paper around and give you some business cards about ROSC, and you can investigate, and I can have your emails. We need help. We need help with this struggling community in our lives. So whatever we can partner up to do, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks. Anybody else?
Excuse me, if she wants to give the cards, could you take them, Nicole?
Okay.
You can pass them out.
And if I can have your emails on the back of that, that'd be great. Sure.
I don't have a pen. I'm gonna give it to you.
Anybody else from public or? None. Okay, I'm going to proceed next item. You have the consent agenda before you. Would Acting Village Administrator Doug Flint please read the consent agenda?
Thank you, Mayor.
You will.
Consent agenda. Number 1, approval of the regular board meeting minutes of January 20th, 2022. Number 2, approval of the committee of the whole meeting minutes of January 20th, 2022. Number 3, approval of the special board meeting minutes of January 29th, 2022. Number 4, approval of accounts payable listing of February 3rd, 2022, in the amount of $1,426,596.75. Number 5, a resolution to approve and authorize an extension of the contract and the execution of a second amendment to the contract with Blue Mountain Landscaping for landscaping and mowing services within the village of Glendale Heights. Resolution 2022-R-16. Number 6, a motion to approve pay request number 4 to Joseph J. Henderson and Son Incorporated for the digester rehabilitation project in the total amount not to exceed $357,309.23. Attorney approved. And number 7 is approval of the consent items.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Yes, first, Pat, trustee Pat. And second,
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
second is trustee Schmidt.
Second.
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 Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Meritato.
Yes.
Trustee Pojek.
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt.
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui.
Yes.
Trustee Light.
Yes.
There is no, consent agenda is approved. There is no old business, so we will move on to new business. New business, there is a request to waive first reading on new business items 2 to 5. Is there a motion to waive first reading on new business item 2 to 5? First, Mary Schroeder, trustee Schroeder.
So moved.
Second, trustee Schmidt.
Second.
So I have a question about number 5. Is it like, can we discuss that, or is that going to be discussed later on?
Probably when we go to that item.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yes, okay.
We'll bring it up.
Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Schroeder.
I'm sorry, what are we voting on?
To waive first reading on new business items.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, yes.
Trustee Schmidt.
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui.
Yes.
Trustee Light.
Yes.
Trustee Meritato.
Yes.
Trustee Pojek.
Yes.
First reading is waived on new business item 2 to 5. Number 2, an ordinance to approve a conditional use of permit open sales as an accessory use as 157 East North Avenue in the village of Glendale Heights, LNI Northern Tool and Equipment Company Incorporation. From the January 20, 2022 COW, requesting to waive first reading. This is ordinance 2022-15. Can I get a motion to approve ordinance 2022-15? Trustee Light
So moved.
and trustee Schmidt.
Second.
Second, discussion. No discussion, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Light.
Yes.
Trustee Meritato.
Yes.
Trustee Pojek.
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt.
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui.
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-15 is approved. Number 3, an ordinance to amend a previously approved planned unit development known as High Grove West for the property located at 175 West Army Trail Road in the village of Glendale Heights, LNI, target from the January 2022 COW, request to waive first reading. This is ordinance 2022-16. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2022-16? Trustee Schroeder.
So
Trustee-
moved.
Trustee Light.
Second.
Discussion. No discussion, none. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt.
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui.
Yes.
Trustee Light.
Yes.
Trustee Meritato.
Yes.
Trustee Pojek.
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-16 is approved. Number 4, An ordinance authorizing the sale of surplus personal property of the village of Glendale Heights, 2013 Dodge Avenger, request to waive first reading. This is ordinance 2022-17. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2022-17? Trustee Schmidt.
So moved.
Trustee Pojek.
Second.
Discussion. No discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Mertado?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-17 is approved. Number 5, an ordinance waiving bids for the Lincoln Avenue Storm Sewer Improvement Project and awarding the contract to Unique Plumbing Company. Request to waive first reading. This is ordinance 2022-18. Can I get a motion to approve ordinance 2022-18? Trustee Pat,
So moved.
Trustee Light,
Second on that.
discussion.
Yeah, I have a question about the pipeline, like how the CIPP is more expensive than our usual. So is there a person?
So Rachel's not here.
Okay, so can we table this for the next?
Darcy, can you speak this at all?
I did, actually, SEBO went out to bid for this particular project, so I honestly don't know the CIPP pipe specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically the trenchless piping versus and I'm a little bit confused why this one, because it's supposed to be the non-expensive process versus the one which we are doing it right now. It's more expensive. So, and I'm seeing the difference between the two, like why we are waiving the bid, and I need some answers for that. So can we table this for the next board meeting until I get my answers, or?
The second part, I believe, Mr. Flint, can you talk about that, why we are waiving?
Well, because it needs to get on the construction schedule, right?
Uh-huh.
For the upcoming construction schedule. Reading the executive summary that was provided by Director Kaplan, essentially, prices were submitted by the lining contractors, with the lowest bidder being Hoare Construction for $310,245. Cost was significantly more than the engineer's estimate due to the higher material cost and limited supply in the current climate.
So basically, she's saying CIPP is more expensive than the regular.
Well, the bid, that's what came back from the bids.
Yeah, that makes, because I did some research, it's CIPP is anywhere from 80 to 250 per foot. That's the cost. And that is the most advanced way of, because you don't involve any more labor. It's a trenchless and way of doing it. So the reason I'm confused is because if you're going to go with the traditional way, then you need more labor, and you will be digging and you will be replacing the whole pipeline. And that will be more costly as compared to the CIPP. So whoever did that, I need some answers, and that's why I'm looking to table until get that, yeah.
You know, you could just remove, if the person that made the motion, just remove their motion, and the second, it'll be tantamount to first reading, and it'll come up automatically on the next agenda, and then we can get the answers.
Okay, so can I do the motion to remove?
Table the motion.
Well, who made the motion? I forget now. I think it was Pat. If Pat, do you mind just withdrawing your motion?
No, I
Or you rather-
I want to
okay.
make a comment.
Sure.
What?
Doug, maybe the price went up because the material went higher, because they can't get it? And all the
Yeah,
prices,
Rachel, I mean,
are, well, I'm just saying, we gotta get this thing moving. So I mean, if we table this thing, it's gonna be to the
2
the
weeks.
next meeting?
Yes.
And I don't know, we send this out for bid, right? This is out for bid?
This was out for, actually, Christopher Burks solicited proposals for this particular thing, and then they went back after the proposals came in over budget. Then they went out for, staff went out for a second set of proposals, and that's where they are wanting to word it unique.
Okay, so,
Yeah, I'll follow up on what Darcy said. We did go to bid, only one person bid. It was way over budget. I think you hit the nail on the head, trustee Meritato. There is a supply issue. So Rachel went back to the engineer, spoke to them. They analyzed whether or not it was gonna be more cost efficient to simply in place, put in a whole new sewer. And I think that Andy Poufon from Burke recommended this methodology. And then Rachel went to solicited proposals from people to put in and install the actual sewer and came up with this bid from Unique, which was of the proposals, the lowest. So, that's the history, but I certainly understand what trustee Siddiqui's saying. It's not common when this happens, where the actual replacement of the pipe is gonna be less expensive than lining it. But I guess it's a rather unique situation. So it's up to the board. You can delay it for 2 weeks, and, presumably Rachel and/or Andy can speak to the issue, or move forward, so. Well, I think we're still discussing it, Mayor. I think trustee Pojek wants to.
Yes.
How long can we delay this? Can we delay it 2 weeks or longer, or what? So we have some a form, how we can,
2 weeks would be fine. I mean, like.
2 weeks is fine?
Yeah, or, if you guys don't want it, that's fine with me as well. Like, if it's critical to, but, these are just some of my questions which makes, no sense to me, because I read and I did a little bit of my research, but that's fine if,
I don't know how much 2 weeks makes a difference,
okay.
but we can, we can still work with them and tell them we're moving forward with stuff and just get it on we can tell them it's gonna be on the schedule, and then you can get your questions answered, and then we can figure it out.
Fine with me.
Any question?
One more.
Yes.
Change orders. I'm just concerned with change orders because I know how this low bid thing works. They come in and next, we're getting 3, 4 change orders down the road. I just want to make sure we're not going to get sandbagged with all these change orders because that's not going to be good.
So it's probably a better question for the engineer who bid it out. We can have Andy here next board meeting to answer your questions.
That would be better.
Okay.
Okay, I guess the best way to do it is, if somebody makes a motion to table in a second, there's no discussion on that, and it'll be tabled till the next, the date certain, which, a motion to table to February, I'm struggling with the date, what is it?
17th.
17th, thank you. To February 17th would be in order.
Trustee Schmidt and then trustee Light.
I move that we table this question until February 17th meeting.
Second, trustee Siddiqui.
I got a question.
Okay, go ahead.
We're gonna table this for a discussion with the only contractor that bid for that bid. Am I right? Only one contractor bid?
No, for this one, there was two.
Two.
So to kind of trustee Light's point, Unique Plumbing bid 222, Martum Construction bid 393. There's a $170,000 difference in the bid prices.
Okay, so Mohammed, what are we looking at? I mean, what's your goal?
The only thing which I need to know is why we are choosing this, and CIPP, which is most of the, CIPP is more efficient, it's trenchless, you don't have to dig, and that's all. Just some questions in my mind, that's all.
Yes.
My purpose is not to delay or anything, but if he was here, then, it's fine, but if you guys think that it's delaying is gonna be something, then, it's
I
fine
don't
with-
think 2 weeks is gonna, 2 weeks is fine, I guess.
Trustee Pojek.
Yeah, Doug, I got a question. Why the big difference in cost?
That's a way better question for the engineer.
Oh, okay. You're not the engineer
I
then.
am far from that.
And we'll have to wait then. We'll wait 2 weeks then.
All right, thank you.
Motion to table? Yes.
Table it.
Roll call. Okay.
Roll.
Okay, Trustee Schmidt,
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui,
Yes.
Trustee Light,
Yes.
Trustee Meritato,
Yes.
Trustee Pojek,
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
Motion is carried in our table. Number 6, a resolution appointing a police commissioner to the Board of Police Commissioner for the Village of Glendale Heights, Illinois. This is Resolution 2022-R-17. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2022-R-17? Yes.
So moved.
Second, Trustee
Second.
Pojek. Discussion. Yes.
Mr. Kilker, do you have a name for this person already?
Yes. Mr. Flint.
Syed Afsarullah.
Okay, thank you. How can we appoint somebody to this? I don't know. How can we appoint somebody? We never met him? Did he have a background check already? That's all part of being the police commissioner. I checked this out with Chief Pappas. There's about 5 or 6 steps or even more that we have to follow, A, B, C, D. The first one is background check. Can you expand on that, Chief, please? So everybody knows about it?
There's quite a few rules that you have to do when you have a police commissioner. It's not, like for recreation department is recreation department. There's state statutes that you have to follow for a police commissioner, similar to a police officer. There's certain stipulations that you cannot have. You can't have a felony conviction. You cannot, be related to any one of the, politicians, their second cousin by blood. You cannot be in part of any committee that the village runs. There's a lot of stipulations that go through for being a police commissioner. You have to understand, the reason that they also have to declare which, if you're a Democrat or Republican. The reason behind all these is because they pick the police officers that will work at a village or a city for 25 to 30 years. So you have to make sure that the person who's selecting those officers, it's only fair to the community. We have a great police department, guys. I think we have the best police department. And they are really involved in community policing. So if you're going to pick a police commission, and the reason that the state has these regulations in there is you have the best ones. So for backgrounds, that's what background is, that you have to look into all those different things just to make sure you have all that. So when we do backgrounds for police officers, it usually takes between 2 weeks to get those completed. So a police commissioner, would to be fair, would probably take around the same amount of time for a background check.
So as of now, we cannot appoint anybody as a police commissioner unless they have the first background check and all the other stipulations that you mentioned.
Yes, Investigator Toigwa started a background, but it has not fully been completed.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Yes.
Have we had anyone else ask or apply or, shown any sort of excitement over this position? Anyone else, or is this the only person that we've ever had?
We've had, actually, Nicole sent me 2 applications that we've had. She sent me those this week. And so I know there's 2 applicants that have applied for the position.
I mean, I know they got, I mean, at least with some community standards, I mean, are they, people show up to like community watch, you know, and how often they participate? Do we look at this sort of stuff when we take on this person?
You want somebody who's vested in the community, like I said, because they're picking a police officer to represent our community for 25 to 30 years. So it's important that they have a vested interest in it.
Definitely.
Trustee Siddiqui.
Yeah, actually, that answered my, I mean, I just need to know what is the criteria of picking up and how many applications have we received for this? Who are those candidates? I mean, it's,
Well, without, I really don't name names specifically, I guess, here,
I have no idea.
but we've had three
That's his friend.
applicants.
First you said two.
Mike. Well, I'm adding one.
Oh, all right.
So we've had three. Seem to be very well qualified. The background check is probably one of the most important things that we do. The recommendation from the police department is going to be on the background, right? And on maybe ethics, maybe how other areas of the village that they might have access to, and if there's any complaints within the village and other areas of the village, right? It's going to be the board's determination on whether that person's a good fit for the committee, right? They're really not the police department recommendation, that's going to be the board's recommendation on whether it's a good fit.
but my question is how the board knows, because I'm just seeing one name here.
Yeah, so you will get with this applicant, a completed background and a narrative on the background for, and any candidate that moves forward for the police commission, so that you can make a, articulate, review and have, you know, questions for this person if you want to vet that person more than what you see on the background.
Trustee
May I
Oh,
speak?
they were down there. Go ahead.
I would like to say something. You gave us the name of this one person, and yet when someone asked you who else, you said you'd rather not say their names. I personally spoke to two other people in the village that were very, very interested in this position and were well qualified, and yet you're not saying, you know, who else gave you an application for this?
Well, I'm not sure they want it public.
Oh, all right.
I don't mind telling you, but I don't know if they want it public.
I wouldn't say their
Oh,
names.
Chester was
You
waiting
are the
again.
first, you know.
I was up first. Can we get the other applicants' background check started on these guys so we can get a variety of people maybe to look at? I mean, is it possible to do that?
We need to have that forwarded as a recommendation for a candidate before we do a background. We just can't do background checks on every applicant that comes
yeah,
in.
I get
So
it.
if somebody brings us forward an applicant to put in front of the board for acceptance into the police commission, we would do that background.
All right, so we need a recommendation on the others in order to get a good variety.
We need I mean, the mayor makes that
Right.
recommendation appointment.
I was just gonna say, to follow up on what Doug is saying, it's the appointment is the mayor's, with the advice and consent of the village board.
Correct.
So, doing a background check on people that aren't, name hasn't been submitted to the village board is probably not appropriate.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, Trustee Bojek.
Chief Pappas, my understanding is there's an officer that lives in our village now, and he works for some other suburb northwest of here, that he's interested in police commissioners. Am I correct?
Yes, there is a police sergeant that is.
Oh, he's a sergeant.
Yes.
Did he fill out any application yet?
Yes, he did.
Oh, he did, okay.
Are you
And
talking-
how about Mike Somerville? I heard he was interested.
Yeah, I don't know if he filled out an application or not, though.
Let me talk.
Okay.
Yes, yes, I have talked with these two police officers, Michael Somerville as well as Kevin Tierney. And Michael Somerville, what he told me that I don't want to be treated the way the attorney lady was treated by the board.
He what?
Number one.
I can't understand what you're saying.
Michael Somerville said, that I do not want to be treated by the board the way that attorney was, lady attorney, she came, she was treated. And with the other Mike Tierney, his sergeant, I sent him message and he has not texted me back. So I am working with these two people, Ben, and if they want, yes, I'm ready.
All right, thank you.
You will. Yes, Trustee
We
Siddiqui.
also received, all the trustees receive an email resume. What about that candidate? I think, Doug, did you check the?
It was forwarded, it's just kind of in limbo.
Yeah, so that's the thing which I know. What is the criteria of mayor's recommendation? Is it like, because it comes to us and how we know which one is?
So we have one opening,
uh-huh.
right, for a police commissioner to serve on the police commission from now until this term expires end of April. So, there's only one person two people that have been brought forward, right? One couple last month and this one. So there's only one opening. I assume if this person isn't passed, we'll get other candidates forwarded to us for evaluation and background check.
Yes, Trustee Schroeder, yes.
Oh, me? All right. Well, as long as names are coming up, because Mike Summerfield was one of the gentlemen I spoke to, but I also spoke to Ed Pope. And if Ed was qualified to be a trustee, I'm sure he'd be qualified to be on this board with the police commission. But I think Ed should be considered also. Ed?
Okay,
Your name was brought up already on this.
so I was trying not to name Ed.
Oh,
Sorry.
I asked him. He said he
That's
didn't
okay.
mind. All right?
But it's not for, understand, it's not for me or Chief Pappas to bring forward, it's for the mayor to bring forward to the board for recommendation.
And then we vote on it.
Yes.
Okay.
Trustee Pat.
Doug, how many applications have we received for that commission
So far, two.
so far?
Two.
I've
Two?
three. Well, I've seen two, but I guess there's
Well,
three.
I was counting Turney, Somerville, and Ed.
Okay, three. There's three then.
Nobody else?
No, there's been gentlemen who,
At least 5 more people?
5 more?
I think.
I'm aware of,
There's that one guy that comes to the neighborhood watch all the time,
he's not filled out an application.
right? And then there's another one, Mr. Gutierrez.
I haven't seen an application.
Okay, because he called me the other night again.
And the gentleman
I told
the gentleman whose resume was forwarded to us by trustee Siddiqui.
Okay, so how does this process work? Do they send the mayor a resume? And then does the mayor interview him, or do you interview him? And then you give your recommendation to the mayor and let the mayor pick the person?
This is a recommendation from the mayor. If the mayor directs me or Chief Pappas to do interviews and to bring recommendations forward as to who the appropriate people to be on that commission are, we would do that. It is an appointment by the mayor with advice and consent to the board, from the board. So the people have been forwarded to Mayor Coker. It's really the mayor's responsibility to bring that recommendation to the board.
So,
But I'm happy to engage and do background and have conversations with the candidates and write up narratives based on a Q&A and add that to the background check.
so the other people that apply to be on the commission, they send the resume to you?
Yeah, they sent to me, number one. Number two, they had Mr. Flint and Pepper's chief, they had opportunity to talk with people, those candidates.
Only the 2 people?
Yes, these, Mr.
It
Flint.
should be
as
more
well
than
as-
2.
Well-
More than 2.
I'm not really sure what you're referring to when it says opportunity to talk to people. It's not the recommendation, it's the recommendation from the office of the mayor and president, not from me. I'm happy to engage anybody who's applying for this position in a conversation and talk to them about their qualifications and write up an executive summary as to what those qualifications are to help the mayor and the board make a decision on who the most qualified people are.
Yeah, then it goes for background check, you know.
Okay,
Any-
but the problem is, the board don't know who the person is until we get here on a Thursday night.
You know when we sent you
I mean,
resume.
I never met this guy. I don't know who this guy is.
I agree.
So,
I mean, I don't.
yeah, and.
I mean, I seen his resume. The mayor sent me the resume. I mean, I read it all. He's great, qualified. But I mean, I never met the guy. I never met him.
You can meet, you know, you can ask, you know, that you want to talk with that guy, any candidate, you know. We don't stop you. Did you
Yeah, but
request
we
to
should be
see?
informed before it goes on the agenda.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, if you want, you can have interview that guy, you can meet with that. But if you say you want me to put on that, before that, that's my prerogative, you know. Your turn is after, background is done. I have appointed, background is done, and my team, Mr. Flint and Chief, they are okay, I'm fine. Then it's your.
Well,
If you try to ride on me, I will not let it do, you know.
right, I only want the best qualified person for the for that commission. I mean, any other commission, I really don't care about. Police commission, that position is, we're hiring police officers that could be here 35 years if they want to stay that long. Them people have to be, I mean, community involved. They have to know Glendale Heights. They had to volunteer in the village. I mean, this is only my personal
Right,
saying.
right.
I mean, I don't care what anybody else thinks. He should be involved in the community. He should be a longstanding resident, a volunteer, knows the community. And, I mean, them should be the qualifications that we should be looking for this particular commission. Any other commission, I don't care about. Police commission, this is a touch and go situation. I mean, at least for me. So,
I brought the best candidate. She went to University of Chicago. Went to Loyola University for law. She's a patent attorney. She did not come for money. She wanted to serve, you know, and you guys stop her working, you know, because you just want to oppose mayor.
We stopped.
And that is the thing, that this village has one engine and 6 brakes. You guys are prone to having no appointing committee for selection of employee. It didn't work for 30 years. You guys put your kids on the board. You guys put your relatives. You guys put your friends, you know. And I am against that. You don't like that me, you know, because of that thing. And I'm an honest person. I will keep it doing. And people don't like you. Good, yes. And this guy, Mr. Trustee, he was winning contract for relative. And now he's acting like he's a champion.
You look like a fool right now.
Yeah, I am.
You know, please.
Listen,
Just
you act like, you know, you are.
accusing us.
So
First
we need
civil-
some,
you should
we need to get back to the
Let me
business.
talk. You should use civil language. You don't.
If
You
you
call
act
this
like
meeting
this,
circus,
it's
you call this
ridiculous
meeting
that you
drama.
accuse board, all 6 members that we are corrupt. We are
listen.
enough of this nonsense. We are done with this nonsense. Enough of this nonsense
If
that
you please,
blame
if you
always
please
us.
use
Sorry,
civil
cannot take it
language,
anymore.
I will appreciate. If you
Yeah.
use civil language,
Civil language.
you know civil language, you don't know. There are 5 other trustees, they don't use the way you are talking.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And you will not win. You understand? You fought for a contract for your
Go ahead.
relative, you know.
Keep talking.
Yes.
Keep talking.
You refer to us as breaks. Well, we may be so in a way to keep from mistakes happening. So we use our best judgment to put the brakes on, to slow things down, so we can make the best possible call and judgment. If that so be that you call me a brake, then yes, I'm a brake, because I'm concerned what goes on. I agree with Pat. On many levels, the person has to be really a good fit. It's an important position, and it's one I don't take lightly. I mean, I don't know this person. I mean, if it was the same person I saw before on Saturday, then, like I said, I don't know this person.
I mean, if you want, you can request us, me or Mr. Flint or Mr. Chief, that you want to see, we will provide that opportunity. I want that, yeah, you should meet. But I sent email to Trustee Siddiqui, I'm extremely busy, I cannot come. It's not first time, second time, I send him text message, he is extremely busy.
Yes,
But
I have a full-time
when-
job. And what
when-
else did I tell you? Can you please email me your questions? I will answer them on my time. Yes, I have a full-time job, Mayor. I cannot just come whenever you ask me to. Sorry.
Listen, you have full-time job, I have more work, I do more work than you. I spend 80 to 90, 100 hour week for this village. And I work. I send email to everybody. Every trustee get email, if you don't respond, it's not my job. But when there was contract for your relative, you were acting like Superman.
I think I was abstain.
And you should feel shame. You are here as a trustee,
Don't
not
even
for
go
your
over there.
relative.
I abstain from the voting.
Okay, thank you. This is the first time. Yes, Trustee Smith, please.
I call the question.
Okay.
So what that means is that trustee Schmidt is asking for a vote on on item 6, the resolution to appoint a police commissioner.
I got a question. Chief Pappas, on this background check, what is the cost? Do we pay for that, or
Yeah, it'd be just like we do a police officer. So our investigator,
fingerprint and everything?
yes, we do a whole background as we would for a police officer.
Okay, and thank you. And Mr. Coker, regarding that woman that you wanted for the police commission, few of us, let me finish.
Go ahead.
Few of us checked on her.
Okay.
She did not vote in this election in Glendale Heights for at least 10 years or longer.
Okay.
Does she even live in the village, or did live with a relative, or what? We don't know nothing about her.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
You are stopping her because for her past, she didn't vote, Now she wants to help community. She is patent attorney, not just regular attorney. Patent attorney is higher than attorney, She is that. She wants to help this village. If she realizes and she's ready, willing to work, not for money, and she's the most qualified person.
But she's not
One
even
time-
registered in the village.
She is.
I'm not
Where's she-
trying to,
Go ahead, Mr.
I'm not
Storino.
trying to interrupt the debate.
We
but,
gotta stop this.
The motion that was made by trustee Schmidt is a motion to end debate. If you don't want to do that, you should not second what Mr. Schmidt said, but he asked to limit debate, stop debate, and vote. If that's the consensus of the board, that's the next item to be done. If you don't want to follow that, you just simply, we would continue the debate. But you at least ought to address the issue of whether or not you want to end the debate.
Right.
Yes, Mr. Pat. Yes,
Okay,
Trustee Pat.
this guy, are we, whatever his name is, are we doing a background check on him now?
Yes, it's almost completed. I can give it to you guys when it's done.
Okay, so
Let's just wait.
let's wait. Let's wait before we make a decision. Let's get the background check. I mean, I don't know, let's wait and see what happens.
Okay, trustee
And
Pat.
then we can vote on it next time around. Let's take a look, let's see
Trustee
Let's
Pat.
see what,
Trustee Pat.
but that's my proposal, but I don't know, whatever the board votes, vote. I don't
Trustee
know.
Pat, during my in-person meeting with you, you said you agreed with the attorney lady, you know. You said, yes, you don't have any problem, you know. And Mike Light, he agreed with me, you know. And Ms. Schroeder, trustee Schroeder, she agreed, you know. So if you want, she has no, her background is very clean, number one, no problem. She's the most qualified lady, young lady, and she wants to help. If you want, I can put her name back, but with your consent. But I don't want she come and she has to go through again, you know, same disrespectful manner, you know. No, you did not open your mouth, nobody opened, you know. And I like that, now we have discussion, and I love discussion, you know. So if you agree, I can put her name again. But you three trustees, yes, you approved that. Yes, go ahead.
Here's another idea.
Right.
Why don't this name that you're doing a background check on, why don't he meet with the trustees, talk to them, see what you think? If you still decide no, then we vote no.
Is
I
that-
mean,
Okay. What about the other candidates?
let's give it a shot.
Right.
What about the other candidates? What's their fault? Why we cannot meet them? Why only just one candidate?
Mr. Trustee,
I'm not talking to you.
Siddiqui, listen, you are on the board, you should respect decorum. You
Yes.
don't.
I am.
No, you are not talking to me, you know. This is disrespectful.
So, just on that issue, the mayor is the only person that can appoint.
Okay.
So, really, to vet multiple candidates really doesn't make any sense, because the mayor may choose to select none of those candidates. So really, the statute, the village code, all direct that it's a village president's appointment with the advice and consent of the board. So I think that what should happen is, a name should come forward by the village president, who's the only person that can really make the appointment. You do the background check, and then you up or down that person.
So I
And then if
believe,
he doesn't, and then quite candidly, if the mayor does not come forward with another name, you have no ability under the statute or the code to present another name. You just don't. You have to wait for the village president to do what he has done, and that is make a suggestion or an appointment a month ago, and up or down, another gentleman, up or down, the next person, up or down.
so I would suggest then let's vote for this person right now.
That's the
You
will of
know,
the board.
We don't have to wait for.
That's-
No,
background
I
check.
don't, I want to see the background.
Talk to the guy.
I want to see the back, I want
One
to
at
see,
a time, please.
I want to see the background check, and I'd like to talk to the guy. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no harm in everybody talking to him and find out what he's all about.
I
You
agree
know,
with that.
if we like him, you know, hey, well, it's not a problem.
Yes, Mr.
If we
President.
decide we don't like him, then we just vote no.
Then the motion that's in order would be a motion to table to a date certain.
Let me before.
Okay,
this,
Mayor.
Should, I mean, with your consent, should I put attorney's name, Tanzina Chowdhury, with your consent, yes or no? If you want, I can bring her back. I mean, she's the most qualified person.
We're talking about this
No,
gentleman now.
we're talking about the guy you're doing a background check on,
That's what
right?
we're working with.
So far, we
That's the
have,
one we want.
so far, we
Check
have
it out.
two.
Who we're talking
So
about.
far, we have two candidates, they applied, and still their name is with me. And any other candidates wants to apply, is most welcome, you know.
So,
Anybody can apply, send me resume, talk with me, talk with Mr. Flint, with the chief. He or she is welcome. I want good people, and I want educated people, you know.
We all
Right.
want good people.
Yes.
Mayor, there's, the motion on the table is for the gentleman that's on this resolution.
Right.
We have to work through him,
Right.
And then if he is just down, if he's downvoted, you can then bring back any other person you want to,
Right.
right? So we need to deal with this one that's on the table first, and then we can move to the next person if this person is downvoted. Because then we only have one opening.
Right.
So
Right now, we have one opening.
we have one opening.
Then in May, we have,
We'll have more in the short term.
right,
So, but we need to deal with this gentleman first.
yeah.
So whatever the board wants to do, we'll get back to you in 2 weeks if that's what the recommendation is, once you take a vote, with the background and executive summary of what we found, and then we'll have that for you probably early next week.
Right.
And then you guys can, the board can set up any time they want to meet with this gentleman and vet him a little bit more.
Yes, yes. Another thing is, this is a safety and health matter. If we cannot have, quorum, we cannot proceed, And police job and law enforcement job is very vital. Every department is vital, but it's more. So we need someone to come and we can fill it, I don't want that candidate if, there should be like, just for opposition, oh, we don't like, So if you have some candidate, bring to me, I am very welcoming person. Now, do I have motion to table this?
Some trustee, either deal with the resolution that's before you, which is moved in second, and that would be a yes or no, or if there's a motion, you want to wait 2 weeks, a motion to table to that date certain, the next board meeting. That's up to the board.
Yes, trustee Light.
Motion to table this until
Okay, let
further
me add one more
information.
point, If any trustee wants to see that candidate, have a meeting, please call me, Don't make excuse, oh, we don't know, we did not have this, we did not meet, So you want to meet, talk with me. You have phone, just talk with me, and I will arrange within 1 or 2 days your meeting. Yes,
All right, I have a motion to table until further information.
Second.
second, motion is table, carried.
You need to vote.
Vote.
Vote, sir. Yes.
Trustee Light,
Yes.
trustee Meritato,
Yes.
trustee Pojek.
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder,
Yes.
trustee Schmidt,
Yes.
trustee Siddiqui.
Yes.
Motion is tabled. Number 6, a resolution appointing, this is done, 6. We now go on to public discussion of agenda items. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address this board on an agenda items? Yes.
Thoreshwa Coker. This is to trustee Pojek. I found it really, really rude and insensitive that as soon as you heard it was an ethnic name, the first thing you did is tell Mr. Meritato that, oh, that's one of his friends. I know there is a resolution for cronyism going on right now, but I feel like every time there is a minority name that is South Asian, you're quick to say that it's one of my father's friends,
I
when it's
disagree
not.
with you 100%. Some
I
of my
do not.
best friends are Pakistanians.
Mr.
It's
Pojek,
not even
Mr.
Pakistani,
Pojek,
it's Pakistani.
control your volume. Don't raise volume.
It's Pakistani.
Just talk with respect.
It's Pakistani. If your friends were Pakistani, they would have corrected you and said it's Pakistani, and I said South Asian.
I
So
have
that
some
includes.
Pakistani friends that go to MSI. And
There's
they
a
like
round
me,
of
they like
applause.
me over there.
No, Dureshwar,
That's
you are
a
not
round
allowed
of
this here.
applause. Pakistani, not Pakistanians. You should go talk to your so-called friends and ask them to correct you. As for Mr. Siddiqui, you're over here talking about people getting a fair chance when you sat at my house and asked for a job for your wife. You approached me the first time and told me to talk to my father and get a job in this village. And where were other people's rights when they were trying to bid on
Can
the cricket
you
field?
make a proof? Do you have any proof? And also, let me.
I have a ring camera,
Okay,
and I'll
can
be
you
more
tell-
than glad to show people that you were at my home.
Okay, and also I want to say something here. I know she's the daughter of mayor, and where she's taking this whole conversation to the race. There is no racist person here, okay? Let me be
That's
very-
really funny because weren't you saying that Mr. Pojak was at your son's party and complaining about the food and how much you disliked him and how he was
So
complaining it was too
we're talking about
oily?
agenda items.
Yes,
Yes, okay.
If
that's
we
what we're
could get back
talking.
on track for agenda items, please.
Have a
I
great
know,
night.
yeah.
Next, yes.
Unbelievable.
Hi, Ed Pope, Wayne Avenue. I wouldn't have come up except for you guys brought my name up, so you opened the can. So I'm not
Tried,
going to,
Ed.
you did try, Doug. I want to disagree with Mayor on two things, or one thing for sure. You said that those two people are the best candidates. I'm the one here. So I've been in the village 30 years. You guys know me. It's never been about money. I have been on almost every committee, every commission. You know, everything I've ever done for this village was out of the goodness of my heart, not about the little bit of stipend that we got. You guys do a great job, but you have a person on here tonight for a motion to approve that's not even here. Well, I am. And I'm one of the, Pat said he thought there might be 5 candidates, but the chief said there's 3 applications, and I am one of those applications. I've talked to most of you guys about it. I'm not trying to oversell myself, but I just want to say that I don't know how much better it gets than a 30-year resident that's also had 20 years involved in village politics. So, Mayor, no disrespect about your candidates, but I don't know them. Nobody seems to know them. You guys do all know me. So I'm not defending your position on what you're deciding or not deciding tonight. I'm just defending the fact that I have a hard time swallowing the fact that someone says they're the best candidates because they went to Loyola or whatever the case may be, because I've went to every single thing in this village, every single event, National Night Out, people's birthday parties and christenings. So whatever it is, it was because I love being involved in the village. So I hope that the board will take a look at the people that have applied. I do understand, Mayor, that it's your appointment. But if they haven't taken the time to apply, why would they get consideration? And there's 3 of us that have. I don't know about Mike. I know Mike's name came up as well. And again, 30-year police officer. So there's some great big shoes for me to follow if you were interested. But again, my whole conjecture is just the fact that being said that they are the best candidates when I'm the one sitting in the room, meeting after meeting, from the audience, used to be up in the good seats, now I'm in the cheap seats, but that's just my point, is I'm here, and there's 3 of us, according to Doug and George, that did fill out applications, and I hope that the 3 that did, I hope that those ones will be considered, because it doesn't sound like the 2 that you're talking about have filled out applications, and we have. So I hope you'll take that into consideration when you make your vote. And Mr. Mayor, I hope you'll take that into consideration as well.
Mr. Pope, you know me and I know you.
Of course.
And this is the first time I heard you are interested to file application. I love it. I know you from at least 15 years, at least, maybe more.
Well, I
And
appreciate
I
that.
have appointed you already with some committee.
Of course.
Yeah.
But
If you say, you don't talk with me, and how do I know, you are interested?
Because I thought our applications were going
I'm
to you.
talking particular about that lady, I'm talking about her education, her passion. She wants to serve, and they want to just make excuse, and they want to stop her because she didn't vote, That is wrong, To me. You may disagree with me.
No,
Education was, she's student of US Constitution. She's attorney, making plenty of money. She's not coming for money. At least she's getting $200 per hour, And she wants to serve this Glendale. I talked with her and she said, today text to me, whatever I want to serve Glendale Heights. I don't care whatever she wants to serve. Only if somebody or someone wants to stop her, oh, she didn't vote. for 10 years, that's old, You cannot punish, it's not offense, Not to vote is not offense, it's not crime, it's not offense.
No, but I think his
If
point,
somebody wants to change that pattern, give opportunity.
but the point is that she's, in 10 years, she has not taken a vested interest in our community because she didn't vote for the politicians that are here. I have, number one. I hit every single box that Pat mentioned about living here. And if your friend, or not friend, if that person, I don't know if she's your friend.
She's not my friend.
And that's why I recanted.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, I don't know the lady.
Yeah.
But I'm saying there's also baby steps. If she didn't make it onto that committee, there's 40 other committees that she could get on, and you can work your way up. You gotta dip your toe in the water first, okay? I started my toe in this water 25 years ago, and now I'm swimming. So I'm just saying that she wants to just jump in, and you're using her pedigree as something that seems, you're saying it is making her more qualified than I am, and I'm telling you it's the opposite. I'm saying I know where Amy Avenue is. I know where the chief's office is. I know where your office is. I know everything about this village, well, almost everything, and I think those are part of the qualifications. You need someone that's fully invested in this community on all levels. It doesn't matter what their pedigree, it doesn't matter how smart they are. I think that's part of, makes you, would be good on the panel, but I'm just saying, as when you're looking for the right candidate, you need to look at the fit and you need to look at the investment in the community that the people have made. And I've spent almost half my life working with this village, and some of you guys for over 20 years now. And I feel like I'm not getting consideration, and I feel a little disrespected because of it. So that was just my point, Mayor, is that you said they were the best candidates, and I'm just going to be on record to wholeheartedly disagree that, no, Ed Pope is the best candidate. That's my opinion, but I'm telling you for a fact that it's the truth. So board will make the decision. I understand it's your recommendation. I'll try to take anything away from you. I just felt like I needed to point that out, that, there's other people and there's other applications out there, and you guys should look at all of us equally and fairly.
And you are talking about public service. She has been law practicing attorney for last
Not in Glendale Heights.
over 10 years.
But not in Glendale Heights.
All over in attorney, they work in Cook County, they work in DuPage County, Lake County, everywhere. So you cannot say she is out of that. She is in public service.
Not here, Mayor, and we're looking
If
at officers
she
that are
has
going to
law
be here for
practice
25 to 30 years.
She has law practice in DuPage County or Cook County, she is in public service.
My point is not to debate.
I am not comparing
I'm not
you with her.
debating your candidate.
You are a great guy,
I'm not trying to debate your candidate.
No.
I just wanted to say that when you have 3 other candidates that have followed the steps and have put in their applications, they should be considered by you and the board. Where you have 2 other candidates that haven't filed paperwork and they're, in your opinion, the top candidates. I have to disagree with that.
And you are also at the top, I know your services. I don't dispute.
That's okay. You know what, I've said my piece. Thank you guys for listening. I hope I didn't come off like a jerk, but I just felt like I had to say what I had to say
Yeah,
because
that's-
I got a long experience here.
Are you done? Yes, trustee Siddiqui.
You had 2 comments, Ed. You have one. Any other?
Oh, my second one, yes. Thank you.
Before
Thanks,
that,
Doug.
I want to say, can you feel our pain?
Can't answer that, sir.
Okay.
My other question is, on the landscaping issue, the mowing services, it was under consent agenda 5. Is that, why are you, is that just for the North Avenue, like the dangerous section?
So part of that is North Avenue. We added, when North Brandon got resurfaced,
Yeah,
we added some eyebrows in there, actually some islands inside the cul-de-sacs in there, just mainly for snow and traffic. That 30 by 30 area is grass. They're picking those little islands up.
so we're not subcontracting, like, you're not going to, like, subcontract
They're not
out all
doing
the
the
parks
parks.
and
No,
everything?
no,
We have
no,
a
no.
parks department for all that.
They're not doing that.
Okay.
No, they're just doing, they're doing the same properties they've been doing for the last couple of years. We added 2 small properties, the President Island Lift Station and 2 Brandon Islands. The 2 new Brandon Islands that are there. So parks departments will be able to focus on parks.
And then that also includes the what we consider the unsafe sections of North Avenue that
North
we're
Avenue,
responsible
Army
for?
Trail, yes.
Okay, that was just my question. I just wanted, I wasn't sure, I was fairly sure you weren't subcontracting everything, but it was my question. All right, thank you, guys. Sorry to rouse some feathers.
Thank you for your comments,
I have a deal on Zoom. Who would like to speak?
Deal, go ahead.
A deal, you need to unmute yourself. All right, go ahead, Chris.
Thank you. Just one comment. I am glad Ed votes all the time. I vote all the time when I come here into this village, but I don't see what it has to do when 80 to 85% of this village population that are registered to vote haven't been voting. That's my point right there. You've got a lot of qualified candidates. They may not vote for some reason or other, but 80 to 85% don't each election. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Is Mr. Adil still there? Okay.
He's still here, but
Oh, does he want to speak?
I'm not sure. If he comments, I'll let you know.
Okay. Anybody else? So, is next item?
Yes, exactly.
There is no executive session. Is there a motion to adjourn? Trustee Schmidt,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
second trustee Light. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Schmidt,
Yes.
trustee Siddiqui,
Yes.
trustee Light,
Yes.
trustee Meritato,
Yes.
trustee Pojek,
Yes.
trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
This meeting is adjourned. Trustee Maritato, you have the committee of the whole meeting.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd like to call the committee of the whole meeting agenda for Thursday, February 3rd, 2022. You know who's present?
So noted.
Okay. Is there any add-ons or deletions? Oh, man.
Of course.
All right, what do you got?
Staffing.
What is it?
Staffing.
Oh, staffing.
See something, say something.
Please say something.
See something,
See
Say
something,
something.
say something?
yeah.
CISA, you know.
And also community development.
Juster?
HR.
Anybody else? Bill, you got something?
Oh, no name already? You want to say something?
No.
Okay.
Okay, now we go back to public discussion of the committee recommendations. Is anyone in the public who'd like to address this board? Of course, Mr. Epstein.
Just a quick comment. It's only about number one here with the recommendation to approve for the drive-through establishment. Chief, are we going to have any problems controlling who's in that car or whatever to get the tobacco products?
No, they have to present their identification, the person that's purchasing it.
Yeah, but how do you know how, if there's four people in the car, it's dark in the car, I would rather personally turn this down and make them come inside and present it you also have the camera there in most places to record that information and things like that. I think it's too dangerous to have a drive-through for a tobacco establishment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Is there anybody else? Mr. Pope?
Sorry, it'll be an easy one, but just for Joanne. Sorry, Joanne, I brought this up at the last meeting. I'm just going to bring it up again because now they want to put a drive-through on there. It's literally the worst parking lot in the village in terms of congestion. Ingress and egress is horrible. How are they going to first subdivide that and then make half of it a drive-through for a tobacco facility?
Sure. It's going to be cut east-west, so the north half of the building is going to be the tobacco, where the drive-through is existing, and the south half of the building is going to be the video gaming facility. There are, after the last time, when you raised the issue, there are 18 parking spaces on that lot for that, because I know you expressed some concern about parking. So they will enter off of Glen Ellen Road and circle around, so they'll go to the south and then circle back around behind the building and then to the north side of the building where they can line up for the tobacco.
So if you're looking at the building, the right side of the building will be gaming and the left side will be tobacco.
Correct.
And then they have to drive all the way around that building, come out between that building and the laundromat for a drive-through lane now?
Correct.
And that's a acceptable use?
It is. It actually does meet the code. There's actually quite a bit of space. I'm looking at the site plan. So there's an extra 30 feet north of the drive-through lane. Actually, the laundromat is pretty close to the property boundary. So I think it's a little bit deceiving where that property boundary is. I'm happy to show you the site plan. But there's actually the drive-through lane, and then there's 30 feet before the property boundary. So they'll come out right at the access point. So the drive-through people will come out, they'll go a little bit to the north, and then the bypass lane will come out immediately to the exit.
Okay, all right, thanks.
I have a deal on Zoom.
All right, sorry about that, guys. I dropped my phone, but reconnected now. Thank you for the opportunity. I would like to ask our welcoming president. I actually am one of those guys.
Adil, sorry to interrupt you, but right now we're having public comment on just the recommendations in front of the board for our committee recommendations. Shortly after this committee recommendations are over, we'll have public discussion of anything you want to talk about.
Okay.
So, sorry, if you can just give us 5 minutes?
Sure.
Thank you.
Five?
All right.
5 minutes?
Five?
I'm hopeful.
We don't do anything in 5 minutes.
I'm hopeful.
Committee recommendations. Any other discussion? Okay, being none, committee recommendations. The Plan Commission. A recommendation to approve an application for conditional use in the C2 Community Commercial District to allow a drive-through establishment for a tobacco shop for the property located at 1227 Glen Ellen Road, Prestige Puffs. Is there a motion? Mike?
Motion to move it to the board with the recommendation to concur.
Second.
Second by Mohammed. Discussion? Being no discussion, roll call, please.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder?
No.
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 Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Okay, we move it to the board, concur. Number 2, Plan Commission. A recommendation to approve the following text amendments to the Village of Glendale Heights zoning ordinances. Section 11-2-2 as it pertains to the definition of an adult-use cannabis business establishment, adult-use cannabis craft grower, adult-use cannabis cultivation center, adult-use cannabis dispensary organization, an adult-use cannabis processing organization or processor, adult cannabis infusion organization, an adult-use cannabis transporting organization or transporter, cannabis lounge, club, or similar facility, either open to the public or a private club, where cannabis may be smoked or cannabis-infused material may be used. Section 11-4-20, as it pertains to adult-use cannabis business establishments and regulations in certain zoning districts. Section 11-10, B as in boy, -3, as it pertains to an adult use cannabis business establishment, has a conditional use in a C2 community commercial district. Section 11-10C-3, as it pertains to an adult use cannabis business establishment, has a conditional use in a C3 general commercial district. Section 11-11C-3, as it pertains to an adult cannabis business establishment, has a conditional use in the P-Boy, P-Paul Business Park zoning district. And Section 11-11D as in David, -3, as it pertains to an adult use cannabis business establishment, has a conditional use in an I-Light industrial district.
Need a drink of water?
Is there a motion? Mike,
Motion to move it to the board with the recommendation, concur.
is there a second? Second, Bill Smith.
Second.
Discussion. Chester.
Well, I think everybody knows I'm against this 100%. That's all I got to say.
With
Mary?
all, yes, with all that you said, what you're trying to ask us is if we are interested in having it sold here in Glendale Heights. Am I
Yes.
correct? Yes, and I have to agree with Chester. I don't think that it should be sold here in Glendale Heights.
Okay. Roll call?
Trustee Light,
Yes.
trustee Meritato,
Yes.
trustee Pojek,
No.
trustee Schroeder,
No.
trustee Schmidt,
Yes.
trustee Siddiqui.
Yes.
Okay, we will move it to the board to concur.
You know, I'm sorry, I haven't, I should, don't we usually call at the committee of the whole, the mayor? Am I, she's usually, she's, you know, she, sorry about that. He is a member, and I think he should be called too, Tracy.
Okay.
And on all the items on the COW. Sorry, I should have spoken up earlier.
Okay, Mayor?
Yes.
Okay, now we'll move it to the board.
Yep.
Okay, now we go back to public comment. Is anybody in the public like to address this board on anything that is on their mind?
Ed, if we could just get a deal since he's been waiting.
Oh, I thought he hung up, sorry.
A deal?
Hey, thank you, guys. I was about to hang up. I have a cricket practice to go to. So yeah, before I go, I would like to know from our beloved Mr. Mayor, what happened to my application for the police commission? Because I think there was only a matter of 20 minutes difference between the guy who got his name proposed and mine. So what happened to that?
Mr. Adil.
Or is it based on
Mr.
personal
Adil,
license?
Mayor, I can answer that.
Let me talk with him.
No, no, Doug, I don't want your
Mr.
answer. I want his answer.
Adil, in last meeting, I told you, you can come to my office. Mr.
I
Flynn
don't
told
want
you
to come to your office, buddy. I'm asking about my application.
you did not send to me application, You have to talk,
Okay, now
send your
you're lying.
application. Listen,
Now you're lying.
first you talk, let me talk now, that if someone,
Th-
including
see, that's the
yourself,
reason why I didn't spoke in the
the thing is
discussion.
you are talking back, I cannot
Because
listen, okay.
You cannot set me
Okay,
on somebody of the
okay,
own. You
guys,
can't do
okay,
that.
one at a time, Adil, one at a
Give
time.
me no, hold on one second, hold on. Give me the answer of the question I'm asking, not the question you want to answer. That's what you have been doing. We are not stupid. Anybody on the board or outside the board who wants to go and rewind this meeting can go ahead home and rewind this meeting on YouTube and watch. You are very intelligently cruising past the questions asked to you. I'm asking what happened to my application. You're referring to you asked to meet me in your office 2 weeks ago. I have nothing to do with that. I want to know what happened to my application. That's about it, nothing else.
Mr. Flint.
So we have your application. He submitted, the gentleman that was up here tonight in front of the board. We only have one opening, so the other applications will be submitted to the mayor once we know the outcome of what this candidate is. We have 2 future openings coming up at the end of, well, first part of May. All the candidates that have submitted resumes and filled out applications will have their resumes move forward to the mayor for his consideration.
Okay, so why did he tried to refer another person? His so I think it's like some sort of a friendship going on there between that lawyer lady and himself. If that's the case, which you just said, Doug, that he can only look for one person because there's one opening, then how come 2 recommendations are made by him? And if he can make 2, what about the other 3? Because I think there are 2 more besides me.
So we ended the conversation tonight with just the gentleman that's in front of us today. So we're dealing with that gentleman tonight, or in 2 weeks, after we get background check and everything else done and more vetting. If that person is approved, then that person will be on the board. If that person is denied, then he goes off the table, and the applications that we currently have will be presented to the mayor for his consideration to bring to the board.
Oh, good old days of Linda Jackson, but thank you.
Thank you. Ed?
I'm not sure if my question's for either the chief or maybe Pat, I'm not sure. I understand, when you're redoing an ordinance that you have to put all kinds of stuff in there, but we were talking, I tried looking on the Illinois state's website, but that state statute, it's like 500 pages. I just wanted a clarification, and I will say I support it. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. But would they be allowed to grow here? I thought that was only considered for like rural, like it couldn't be in a village like ours.
It's very difficult to get that license. There's 11 of them in the state. The ones that are open right now are more for the cannabis dispensaries, the storefront, not the storefront, the stores that sell them. The cultivation centers, like I said, there's only 11 of them. You need a very, very large space for that. So the chances of Glendale Heights ever getting that are very, very slim.
And the people that are approaching you, that's not what they're interested in?
More of a dispensary, and the dispensary, the stores.
Okay.
Retail sales.
Yes.
Retail, okay, that's what I thought. Thanks.
Kim Darlin, Greenbrier Drive. Can I ask for clarification? Is it the mayor's responsibility to appoint the police commissioner? Yes or no?
It's his responsibility to bring that appointment to the board.
To the board, correct?
Yes.
There's your answer, Adil. He ain't gonna appoint you. My question is, I see it in here, where cannabis may be smoked, we're planning on putting in a,
I can answer that.
oh, please.
No, actually, the reason that was added in there is that we wanted to make sure that all of the definitions are in the zoning code, and then we specifically prohibit it. So part of my job is people come to me and say, I want to do this, I want to do that, and if the ordinance specifically says no, it makes my job much easier. So it's specifically
We're not smoking
prohibited.
cannabis in the
No,
village other than in your
absolutely not.
home or
Yes,
wherever.
so no lounges, no anything. It just
Okay.
it makes it very clear in the ordinance.
Okay, I'm glad you didn't want me to read that again, Kim. Anybody else? Okay, being none, we'll move on. Discussion regarding addition of the colonialism to the Village of Glendale Heights nepotism policy, administration policy 403, A as in apple, P as in Paul. What do we do with this, Doug?
We bring it back in 2 weeks. between Mr. Sereno and myself and Nicole and Peter, we have been working to find policies, to find definitions, to work on language, and we're not there yet, quite honestly, to bring a policy forward. So we really need 2 weeks
Yes.
to really bring something forward that the board can take action on or not take action on in regards to cronyism, right? Because nepotism's already a policy. So in regards to cronyism, very hard to wordsmith that into a policy right now.
But we are, just what Doug said, we are working on that, and we will have something for you in a couple of weeks.
Okay, is there other villages that have this in their policy?
No,
We the only ones?
let me talk about this, Trustee Sneaky, he got contract for his relatives. Now he's bringing policy for cronyism. He does not know meaning of cronyism, number one. Number two, he doesn't know if any village, town, city in Illinois has this policy. It does not exist, except one in the whole US, that is in California somewhere.
Okay, you want me to answer that?
Yes, no, you answer him, not me.
Okay. I am just trying to understand why, whenever the cronyism comes and you become so outrageous and start shooting me with my relatives and what this thing has to do with the relatives or with any other city. I just want to extend that policy, this nepotism, include cronyism as well. Okay, let's close all the doors. But why? What is the reason? And I know the reason why you are particularly against the cronyism, but I don't want to go in deep for that, and I don't want to waste time. So as Doug, you said that you need more time.
Yes,
That's
sir.
fine,
Thank
and we will talk this after 2 weeks.
Right.
Can
Yes,
I,
that makes sense.
can I
Yes,
respond
thank
you again?
So, no, I don't need your response.
I
Pat,
will-
can you
I will.
please?
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay,
Okay.
we're good with that.
He's talking about cronyism.
My
Trustee
question,
Siddiqui came to my home for his wife's job.
Can you?
He came
can
to my
you
house
control
for
him?
his
Pat, can you
relatives.
control him?
He came for his
Mayor,
relatives
You are
that he could
Pat,
get.
you are
his-
controlling
Let
the
me- let me
chair.
talk.
Pat, you are controlling this committee.
Mayor,
Thing is,
Okay.
you should do what
Mayor,
think what you
Mayor.
are doing.
hey, Chester.
Yes,
He's
that's
trying to
the,
get a hold of you.
Yeah, but I'm,
Yeah, go
okay,
ahead. Go ahead.
okay. I only asked one question. Is there any other village that has this policy?
Few and far between.
Okay, so I want to know. Does it take 2 weeks to get,
Yeah, we'll have language for you in 2 weeks.
okay, sounds good. Everybody okay with that, right?
Yeah.
We're good with it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, number 2, the future of the fish fry, Easter, Mother's Day's brunch at the Glendale Lakes Golf Club. We had a golf meeting last night, and I'm not gonna say how the committee voted, because Doug and I figured let the board see what they want to do with this. Doug, you want to take this?
So, a couple of these things are coming up probably before we have a decision made on what we're doing with the banquet facility. So, not recent because of COVID, but in prior years, we've held a Mother's Day brunch of fish fries during Lent and Easter brunch. The question for the board, based on current circumstances with employees, staffing is pretty much non-existent right now at the golf course, especially during winter, but staffing levels with waitresses and bar and other staff, we're down, I don't know, how many people were down?
15?
15 people. So to staff an event like that, to have to make it a nice brunch, as a Mother's Day brunch should be, to charge what we have to charge and not have employees there to actually make it a nice brunch and get what your money's worth. Not to mention, we don't make any money on it anyway. It's purely a break-even, if not loss, event, each one of them. So the question before the board is, if we are still in control of the banquet facility during any of these events, do we put them on? Right? From a financial perspective and from an employee perspective, it really doesn't make sense for us to do it. But we would do it if the board says to do it. So it's really a decision for the board to make a recommendation to us on these events.
Okay, so what we're kind of looking for is, what does everybody want to do? Do we want to cancel everything? Do we want to do one? And then I'll let you know how the committee voted. So first I'm gonna poll the board, because this is supposedly what we do. Chester?
Well, in the past, we didn't have anything last year. How did we do on Mother's Day and the fish fries? Just on Friday, Thursday and Friday or something?
So we've done the fish fries on the first Friday of Lent and the last Friday of Lent. In 2020, COVID hit right in between them, so we did do the first fish fry in 2020. We had 74 people attend. 2 years prior to that, we had 117 and 125. In 2018, we had 134 and 180 people attend. Looking at our costs, we lost money on all of them.
Oh.
So that's the.
Well, and the other side of this, and I'm really not advocating either way other than just giving you guys the facts, is we don't know where supply chain's at right now with all the foods and meats and everything else that goes into a buffet. We also don't know what that cost is gonna be during these events, because right now, if anybody's been to the grocery store, they know what food costs and how little food's actually in a grocery store right now. So, there's a lot of unknowns as well as we move forward, but, we'll do whatever the board wants us to do.
I think we should take a pass this year on all three events, Easter, Mother's Day, and fish fry. See what happens.
All right, let's go from the, Bill, let's start with you. What do you think?
I agree with Chester.
Mohammed?
Yeah, I agree with Chester.
Mike?
Costs are crazy. I gotta agree with Chester.
Mayor?
Time.
Mayor, what do you think?
Yes.
Okay, Mary?
I feel the same way.
You forgot me.
Well,
You already spoke your piece.
You
I
you
just wanted
speak
to
your
say it
piece no
again.
matter what.
I just wanted to say it again.
Okay, I just want to let you know, the committee last night voted the same thing, that just not to do it. So we'll just take a pass on it. And we never made money on Mother's Day because we always gave, whatever it costs us, we actually charge the people, just, I mean.
No, and they were
But
well
we-
attended. I mean, there's 300 and some people at the
Right.
events, but it's not we don't make any money at it, and
Right.
and trying to project costs this year is just impossible.
Because you look at it, if you have an event like that, even though we don't make any money, but you get 300 people that don't live in Glendale Heights, and they see the banquet hall, and they say, oh, maybe my daughter should get married here next year. So you pick it up on on the back end. But, that's way at least how I think, but. Okay, so we say no, fish fry, Easter, Mother's Day, brunch, a no. Where's David at? David? Let's do a snow event. Oh, okay.
So we had about 5 inches of snow. Public Works was out, Parks was out. They did a phenomenal job with snow removal, worked their butts off, and David kind of made a little video of what they were doing yesterday, and it's here to show.
I don't know, I just thought that was neat.
No, that's really nice. Which drone did you use? Is that a DJI or?
Yeah, that was a DJI.
Is that a mini?
That was a Mini 2, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, yeah.
Okay, now, now we go to other. Okay, Michael?
Well, thank you, Pat. That's very nice
I'll
of
let you lead off.
All right, you let me lead off. Thank you. Mine is staffing. We have we're having a hard time finding people as it is. We have people that are leaving. We have people that are constantly transitioning. And I'm a little bit concerned to make sure we have enough to do what we need to do. First off, I'd like to say that me personally, I would like to see Doug moved up to VA, and let's get him situated instead of an acting village administrator. Let's make him that village administrator. And let's go out to get someone on the outside and get some applications in for an assistant. You will need an assistant. This is a hell of a job. Who actually is in charge of hiring the people that we get?
Well, in theory, the village administrator is the person in charge of hiring and firing and discipline within the village.
Okay. Now, I know we've had one employee from ComDev who is moving on to bigger and better things. He wasn't quite, he didn't love us enough, I guess. You know, and I know we have another person that is leaving that position for a reason that's okay. She'll be back, apparently. But we're going to be down a lot of people in that department. We just transferred somebody from that department to Public Works, which is completely and totally thoroughly staffed, matter of fact, overstaffed. From the exit reports that I had read, the positions of part-time people there weren't necessary. So we're putting people in a department that doesn't need people. I want to get this taken care of. Because I know Parks is very, very, very behind. I think I saw Keith working the counter, which is kind of strange, These things shouldn't be happening. We have one department, that is, like I said, completely overstaffed, and we have other departments struggling. I really want to see this corrected and changed because we got to get something done. Because I know both departments, they function well when they're working properly with the right amount of people. Without having these people in these spots, we're going to be suffering. And I know with ComDev coming up with all of the rental licenses and all the stuff that they got to do, there's no time to screw around with this. We need to move people where we need to move them. I want to see you take VA. I want to see you take it all, and I want to see you move these people around and get this stuff taken care of for us. I know you got the best interest in your heart for it, and I believe you can do a wonderful job at this.
I appreciate the kind words.
Mayor, what are we doing with that? Do you know?
I have.
Hiring or how are we doing this?
I will answer you. Number one, I have made comparative studies what our next door neighbors, towns, and village they are doing. For example, Edison has 36,942 population. Bartlett has 41,000. I will just say 1,000. Bloomingdale 22,000. Carroll Stream 39, I should say 40,000 is close to, around, Hanover Park 37, Lombard has 44,000, Carroll Stream has 33,000. All these community, they have, those employee 1.5 to 3.5 clerical position. Our Glendale Heights has 34,000, and we have still 4.5 people, working for this. So still we have over than our other cities and villages are doing, number one. Number two, Other cities, they have land, double or twice than Glendale Heights. We have 5.5 square feet, and for example, other cities, they have more than that. They are building a subdivision. We are not making subdivision. In our last meeting, one citizen came forward. He said that village of Glendale Heights is making concrete buildings, and those are empty. I went to those buildings. I checked those. They are empty. In one buildings, Clyde owner is coming. But when I see west of Shamil, that's Bloomingdale's, is full of people. Stores are there, no empty building. When I see on my side, my village, my Glendale Heights, empty, nobody there, big buildings. And this is our our community development director, One guy, Mr. Kroll, he's leaving. She talked with me, she sent me email. Next day, I said, go ahead. And I talked with Mr. Flint. I talked with our director. She's working hard. And I said, go ahead, Mr. Flint mentioned same thing, that file. We have position, and I believe she has posted, yes or not, I don't know. But she has permission.
It'll be posted soon.
It's posted soon, So to me, if I compare, with village or other, we don't need,
Okay, but my question is that our village does a lot more than the rest of the village in DuPage County do, our department.
No, it's not like that.
Oh, yeah,
As I
our
mentioned,
our department, excuse me, our department does a lot more things than any other department in DuPage County. Joanne, does other counties do half of what your department does?
No,
No.
I've provided, if I may,
ahead.
I've provided a fairly lengthy analysis of what Community Development Department does. Community Development Departments through DuPage County have very different functions, depending on which community it is. Hanover Park has a similar population. The Hanover Park Community Development Department only does planning. It's a 3-person department with a director, a planner, and a secretary. The police department does all code enforcement in Hanover Park, and the fire district does all building permits and inspections. So that's an example of, it varies tremendously from town to town. We are one of the few communities, as the ad hoc committee can speak to, that has real estate transfer inspections. Also, not all communities have the rental program. So community development in Glendale Heights has rental, has real estate, has code enforcement, has building, has economic development. I actually spoke with acting village administrator, Doug Flint, about providing a economic development update. There seems to be a lot of misinformation about economic development based on the conversation on Saturday and the comment this evening. I don't believe that to be accurate. I believe that we have quite a bit of economic development and redevelopment. Certainly in my tenure here along North Avenue has changed dramatically and is quite full.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that we need more people than the rest of the villages because we do a lot more. We do just about, that department does a lot of work.
Correct.
Mohammed?
The thing is,
Yeah, can I?
go ahead.
Go ahead, Mohammed.
Doug, I'm really confused here. You are a village administrator, correct?
Yes.
Or acting village administrator. Hiring, firing is your job. Your job is also something to look on the other department and see, okay, this department need this employee, this number of employee and all. This is the part of your job, correct?
Yes.
So am I missing something? How come mayor is doing your job? Like why he's saying that, oh, we don't need this. And I personally saw Joanne working on one phone on one hand, and the other hand she's using to do the photocopy. And I've been hearing a lot of complaints from my residents about that, we are way behind. And when I asked Joanne, she told me she is understaffed. We don't have people. And I know there is one, I believe, lady who get transferred from here to Public Works, and that position is budgeted. Why we haven't filled that position?
Well, I think that's the mayor is referring to the study he did, and he does not believe that that position is needed.
Okay, so it means that the residents can suffer, but because of his study, which he done, I really don't know where. And Miss Joanne, how much experience you have in, how long you've been working for village?
For Glendale Heights, I've been
Yes.
10 years. For DuPage County, I've been 33 years.
Okay, so we have an experienced person here who's begging or who's looking for a staff, but since mayor did his study, and there's all this, so it makes no sense to me.
Yes.
Okay, Michael?
Referring back to the study, I mean, you can't really look at population versus size of property that it sits on, because you have a close-by town of Rosemont that I don't think has all but 4,000 people that actually live in the town, but yet they need a huge amount of staff to take care of the stuff that they do. You said we have, nothing going up, nothing building, nothing going on. Therefore, I mean, Public Works doesn't have a whole lot going on then, but what we do have is Joanne is trying to get through all these permits and all this different stuff going on down there, and she's struggling through all of this because we're losing people. And it seems to be a pattern that I'm starting to see. We're losing people. People are leaving the village. I haven't quite figured out exactly what is the problem, and I will figure that part out. I will figure out why people are leaving the village, but I do know that we need parks, rec facilities needs help, and I definitely know Joanne needs help down at ComDev. There is no doubt about it. And we need to get Doug in the VA and get him an assistant, because that poor boy is gonna need some help too, These are my feelings on this. I mean, I've seen it. I've been around for 10 years doing this, and I've seen a lot. But thank you, Pat.
All right, thanks, Mike. Chester?
All right, I agree with Mike Light regarding Doug. Doug, you're working your butt off.
Thank you.
And I mean, you're working at morning, noon, and night. I appreciate everything you're doing for us, but you definitely need help.
Thank you.
And regarding Mr. Coker's analysis of the various surrounding villages, you did not compare apples to apples. When Joanne explained everything, what the code enforcement does, what the police department does, we have a different situation here. Completely different situation. You're not comparing apples to apples. That's where the rub comes in with some of the people, the trustees here. Joanne needs help desperately.
You're right. I was gonna say, Mike Maron was here, well, Rocky was here at the time. Anyway, when we started streamlining, that's how you ended up with that's how we put all our departments in ComEd, because we streamlined at the time we were cutting corners, and you ended up with, that department ended up with just about everything. So I mean, so that's why you can't compare what somebody else does in another village, what our department does. But, I mean, I mean, the mayor has to make the decision, you know what I mean? So, Mohammed?
Just one more question, Joanne. How long we have been this position vacant? Is it?
It was at the very beginning of October, the position's been vacant.
So it's October.
So-
Now it's February.
Right.
And we haven't filled that position
Correct,
because mayor doesn't want to.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
Number
I got one
one,
more.
has any trustee done research on that? That same quantity of people, number of people in other village, they are living and the, the people, I mean, the employee, they are serving, Why Glendale Heights need more people to serve the same population? Other close, our neighboring and other, this is study done by our village, and we are providing same service to the same people.
No, we're not.
And you are not, I am. And still, I mean, one employee was going, she's hiring. I talked with Mr. Flint. Mr. Flint talked with me. I talked with Ms. Joanne. Yesterday, she was excited that we are going, yes. So what we need, we need. We are not making any subdivision we don't have land. We are not making other village, they do. So they are doing same work, We have rental property, they are making subdivision. Now it's up to the board, I mean, they what they want. But my study says this, and I think I'm making study, researching all that stuff, and this is new to these trustees. They have not done anything in last 30 years. They have not, and now I'm doing that. I brought, merit. I did not bring my family over here for job. I did not putting my relatives. I don't have relatives, over here. So this is new to these trustees.
I think we should stay on the point that we were talking about staffing.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, the studies aren't really true. I mean, they may be very accurate in your book and your stuff like such. I said, but the study here, it needs to be done here. It not need to be done in other towns because they do their business their way. We are Glendale Heights. We have a specific need, and we need to fill these. The studies are wonderful. They're great to look at and hang them on your wall and do all sorts of stuff, but they're completely worthless when it comes to our town and our people. We need to handle this situation and get it done.
Okay, go ahead. One more time, Mohammed, go ahead.
Yeah, so going
I want
forward.
to get off the subject.
Going forward, what can we do? Okay, so now the board knows what the problem is, and I believe there is one position which needs to be filled out. So, Mr. Strino, can the board take over and can the board approve that? Because it's already been approved, it's already been budgeted. So can we just motion that, or can we let ComDev hire that person?
It's Doug Flint is the acting administrator. He's in charge of filling that position. It's in the budget.
They are
Hasn't been
budgeted.
eliminated from the budget.
So should we give
I
a
think,
green light, or what you needed from us, Mr. Flint, to fill out that position?
Oh, well, the mayor has issued a memorandum and a directive to me and Joanne saying not to hire that position. So that's been the guiding document that we've used to not hire that position. I could, because the purview of hiring and firing comes under the purview of the village administrator,
Correct.
not the board.
Correct.
I could just ignore the mayor's memorandum and hire somebody. I'm not sure that's the prudent thing to do and to, have conflict with the mayor over hiring. I think this is a healthy conversation to discuss, replacement of budgeted positions, not non-budgeted positions.
Correct, they are budgeted, but.
So, I would still like to have conversations with the mayor based on this to talk about that budgeted position at the front counter at ComDev. But, he's given me a directive that I can't hire, so I'm not gonna go against what the mayor is directing me, not to do. So, this is something that we still have to continue to talk about.
But the people of Glendale Heights are suffering, because I believe, Ms. Joanne, I saw your email about rental properties inspection, you are 1 month or something?
We are behind in inputting building permit applications, and we are behind in issuing because of the clerical does we've reassigned to inspectors as much as possible, but we are falling behind on the inputting the rental licenses, inputting the business license renewals, the money that comes with those renewals, as well as issuing building permits and processing business license applications. We're getting quite a few complaints from businesses that they want to open, and we're behind on getting those processed.
Yeah, because as a elected representative, this is the part of my job that, make sure you are well-staffed and you are working. So, Mr. Strino, how can we resolve this? Okay, can we override with the mayor? I mean, what is in this situation? If the mayor say no, is this mean that we are going to stuck with this, that this position is not going to be filled out?
Can I talk?
I'm talking to Mr. Strino first. Yes.
I think
Should
that,
I explain first, then you can make your.
No, let me ask Mr. Strino first, and then you can do. I just asked the question to Mr. Strino.
I think that Doug Flint has said it well, and that is, I've listened to the conversation. I think it's been a productive conversation. I think it's good that it was open and transparent about how at least I think the consensus or majority of the board feels about this particular position. And I think you should allow the administrator to meet with the mayor and discuss that, given the fact that this dialogue has occurred. If in fact there's still a logjam about that, I think the board has to consider what action they may want to take to direct the administrator. But I think it's positive. I mean, Mayor's sitting right here. He's listened to all the dialogue that's gone on. I heard him say, I made my study. If you don't agree with my study, maybe you want to do it some other way, or words to that effect. And I think I've heard that the majority is thinking that they think this position is important. If that's the case, I think you let the administrator meet with the mayor and talk this through, and hopefully there's a consensus without having to do any other action.
Okay, go ahead, Chester, I'll stay away.
Joanne, did that 1,000 unit rental put you guys so far behind the inspection part?
Actually, we were able to hire outside inspectors to do the actual inspection, and that was paid for by the seller, so I just want to make that clear. However, and our clerical staff worked overtime at that expense. However, it was a significant amount of work for 3 internal staff. The planner, myself, and the assistant we did that on village time, all the paperwork and administration, and it also impacted the finance department as well. But there was a significant amount of staff time that also contributed to that, to the problems that we're having.
Because I felt that if you didn't have that 1,000 unit, you wouldn't have been in the situation as you are today.
No, we would. That
think
because
so?
yeah, oh, absolutely.
100%.
We have hundreds and hundreds of applications for the rental and the business license that are piling up. That one site, we did most of it outside. And I did most of the work on the weekend, frankly.
I witnessed that.
All right, so why don't we let Doug and the mayor kick this around? I mean, no sense, one guy wants one, the other guy don't. I mean, it's not the way it works. So why don't you and the mayor talk about this? Mayor, you gotta bend, sometimes you gotta bend. You know, if you got a hot dog place and there's 5 places down the street and everybody has only 2 employees, I got a hot dog place and I got 6 employees. So does that mean that I gotta lay off 4 people because everybody else has 2? I'm busier. I need more people. So I mean, I don't want to go to the village like I do every day and see inspectors at the window waiting on people. Them inspectors should be on the street.
Right.
They should not be behind the window taking care of people, customers. That should never be. So I don't know, you two guys talk, you guys talk all day long, so work out something. Go ahead, Mike.
Sorry, I was blowing up. Quick question. Joanne, you said it's impacted finance. What do you mean by that?
Oh, the real estate transfer this was a multi-million-dollar sale. So the finance department issued, it was a wire transfer, which is not, Bill can correct me if I'm wrong. We don't typically do wire transfers for the real estate, so Bill had to do quite a bit of work for that, for the actual issuance of the transfer stamp,
All right,
for that particular.
all right.
And I have study information, which I'm happy to provide to the village board of the study that the mayor asked me to prepare. I'm happy to provide that to the board.
I didn't know if you were having to give finance work. In other words,
No.
for them to do it. All right, just making sure. I mean, if they got something going on there, I mean, we're using finance now. Now we're using several departments to do what we need to keep in that department. All right.
Okay, we'll take one more. Mary, for this one?
Yes, I don't know who I should ask this question to, but let me ask you this. You said that Public Works was overstaffed, am I correct? Did someone not say that Public Works had too many employees?
Mike said that.
I said they were fully
Did you?
staffed. They were completely staffed.
All right, well, can't the employees be pushed around? And I don't mean literally, but I mean put around, you know what I'm trying to say? So that more hiring isn't always necessary?
Operational needs type
The other
thing.
thing I said I had three things I want to tell you. And this is no reflection on you, because you know how much I like you, Keith. But many times when I come to the senior center, I see no cars out there. And I say, what is going on? Am I the only one that sees this? When I come early in the morning to the senior center, there are no cars over at the sports hub. And I think, what is going on there? Nobody's there. These are just questions I want you to think about. And the third thing is, if we have people working overtime and we're paying them, isn't it less expensive to pay them overtime than to get new employees and have to pay insurance on them?
That would all be part of an analysis, but, so you're paying at a higher rate, of course, time and a half. And then it just depends, there's a variety of issues, we did talk about that. To make overtime mandatory, many staff members can't. They have obligations, so they can't work overtime. So my opinion is overtime should be exceptions when we have a Ellen Crossing sale or when we have a special project, but to make overtime mandatory for staff.
Permanently. No, I didn't mean permanently.
Okay, yeah.
I just meant like when something important comes up and you need people, isn't it easier to pay them overtime than to?
Right now, we're looking at working with the union to find out a fair way to have overtime there to get caught up, but it's not a long-term solution.
Right.
Because you can't, forced overtime, we see it happening all over the place right now. It's not a long-term solution for employee engagement or morale or anything else.
But isn't that
Short-term-
less expensive than hiring new people?
Well, it depends how much overtime you're paying.
Right.
I mean, it's, you're not talking, a $75,000 job, you're talking a $45,000 job, right? So, you start paying, people, at higher wages, time and a half, that adds up pretty quick.
Not only that, when we hire somebody, we start them at the low level. So it may take them 5 years to build to make top pay. You're starting a guy from the bottom and working his way up. Me, myself, I rather hire the people
You rather, all right.
than, I mean, overtime is great, but people, you burn out people.
The other thing that
just,
has to be considered when we're talking the hiring of people, and the reason that our org chart has the amount of people that it has on there that might not have been taken into consideration in any of this, is benefit time and vacations. And sick time and injuries and all that other stuff. And, the benefit time is quite honestly the reason that we have the org chart so that we can have enough people there to cover, especially the front counter staff at community development and at finance, so that when somebody's on vacation, there's somebody there to fill in. And we're coming into, March, April, spring break, summer, all that benefit time is gonna start being used with vacations and other stuff. So, as you do if you look at it holistically, our org chart is built into with benefit time and built in for all the work that's already there, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can't even find part-time people anymore. I mean, part-time help you can't even find anymore. So Keith, I'm gonna let you define yourself about your
You know
sports
what?
hub.
Trustee Schroeder, I will not disagree that when you come in in a morning during the week, I don't have a lot of people there. I shouldn't have a lot of people there.
Oh.
Basically, I don't have cars for the preschool kids that are in the building. I have a few people that'll be working out, but generally, my busy times are when the school is out. I have kids before school. If you're there before 8:30, I have 40 kids in a preschool or in a before school program. I've got 75 kids in an after-school program. I've got 35 soccer teams every weekend. If you come by on the weekend, we're packed. So that is my time where I'm the least busy. We still have things going on, but we're not as busy as we are at other times during the day. I think we're closed now because it's a little bit later. I was going to point out the window, but I mean, we were busy when I walked out the door, and that's just, it's all timing.
Well, it's just that every time I come by and I see that, I said, I have to ask.
In the non-school time during the day, I'm busier. During school, generally, I'm not that busy, and that's been the case forever. I mean, that's always been the case.
Well, then you must have a lot of part-time employees too.
I have a lot of part-time employees. I have openings as well, and we are dependent upon those part-time employees to cover. I'm not a Monday through Friday 8 to 4:30 position. We open now at 7, and we close sometimes at 10 o'clock at night, 7 days a week. So it's a lot of people, and it takes a lot of people to operate that, to answer the phones, to make sure that everything is being done, that we're taking registrations and we're programming.
Okay,
I
now,
want to
go ahead,
add, someone mentioned that, Public Works Department is over employed. There are two clerical staff over there, just two. And while we have with the community development, 4.5, clerical staff. And I'm talking about facts, what I have over here.
I wouldn't agree with that clerical staff number, but
This is what,
that's not, two isn't accurate. but-
yeah, there are two,
No, they have more than two.
No, there are
But-
two. Miss, I have,
Okay, I'm not gonna argue with you, I'm just telling you they have more than two. There's been, Trustee Light said there's exit interviews that have said, certain positions weren't needed. And that's kind of where that came from.
correct.
But they've been rehired and they're working and they seem to be working out, so.
No, when I talk with, directors, and I have my fact sheet, and I do comparative study, and still we have, more than employee than any other neighboring they do, like. And I have talked with, Ms. Joanne, and I asked, that if those, our employee, clerical, those people, office staff, they can give, activity report, and she has not provided for last 2 months.
I did provide that to
No,
you, sir.
I wanted from those people.
I,
You just gave yours,
no,
what their
sir, I
duties
gave
are.
that to you yesterday.
Yes, so it's not,
That, you asked me for it on Tuesday, and I gave it to you yesterday.
I will go and check that.
Please.
Thank you.
I just want to add one thing. I think it will be benefit if we just don't add too much work for Miss Joanne. Joanne, please don't work too hard. I'm seeing you while you are attending the coffee with mayor. with those files. You are working on those ones, and I even personally saw you making photocopies on your one phone. You are talking to your phone, and then you are making copies. So, I mean, I personally, and I feel really bad that, we are providing you such a kind of environment in which it's really hard for you to manage your family life and your work life. This is not fair. And I can smell a favoritism here when mayor is saying with one department and telling the other department that you are not performing. This is, and as a board, I do not allow that. We, the board is here, and we are here for you. If any of your employee or any of you unable to manage your life, your family life and your work life, come to us or come to me. I will bring it to the board. I really don't care. I mean, this is not fair. What I am seeing here is it's completely favoritism. That's what I'm seeing here. It's that you just blaming one department, one person, ruthlessly. I mean, this is not, I mean, it's the part of the Glendale Height, regardless it's of public works or it's community development. Doesn't matter.
All right, okay, I understand what Mohammed just said, but since I am the deputy mayor, if you have any problems, you come to me, and I would take them to the mayor, and me and him would sit down, we may fight, probably fight, because he's a hard head. But let Doug and him work, try to get somebody down there, because I tell you what, the farther you get behind, when I start getting residents calling me on the phone, I'm not gonna be happy. I'm not. But, let's try to work this thing out. I don't know. Let's move on to the next,
Let me speak, and yesterday,
Aye, go
day
ahead.
before yesterday, I talked with Ms. Joanne, I said, we have one employee, she's working 1,000 hours, I said, give her more hour, instead of hiring new persons, more money. So when we hire extra people, who pays our resident? So I am speaking for my resident too. They say we are paying a lot of, fees, lot of, taxes, So to me, I mean, I'm open with Mr. Flint and Ms. Joanne. She's doing excellent job, and she has intellectual capacity to handle this wisely with the same number of employees. But still, I'm open.
okay, okay, let's move on to, see something, say something, or what do you got on it?
Yeah, okay. Actually, the community development has already been covered. So I have a question to Doug. What are we doing for our secretary, like when we are hiring the secretary?
There's a committee formed,
And who are the members?
Mayor Coker, Rachel Kaplan, George Pappas, and Mary Schroeder.
And where are you?
I'm not part of the committee.
Why?
Mayor made the committee to hire the secretary to the mayor and the board, and I wasn't on it.
And what about HR? Miss Nicole?
I'm also not part of the committee.
Wow, okay, so Glendale Heights probably be the number one city that mayor and the other, the one trustee and Mr. Pappas, why you are in that committee? What you have to do with this hiring? I'm not talking to you.
I have
Wait,
answer,
Mayor,
I
you
appointed
get,
him.
Mayor, you get your chance, Mayor, just let Mohammed go.
Pappas?
I haven't talked to anybody about this. I received an email from the mayor's secretary,
Okay,
and then I received an email from Doug, and that's all I know.
so all I need to know from you, so are you going to be in that committee, or do you think that you're gonna be a beneficial addition in that committee? Or, I mean, because you manage police, correct? And secretary is not really your area, hiring secretary. I mean, I'm just trying to understand how this committee is formed and how it's going to be performing.
That's a very fair question. I was given the list, there's, I believe, 46 people on there to look over, and I'll be quite honest with you, it's a lot of work for a police chief to be doing when I need to be managing the police department.
Yeah, so
honestly.
I agree with you. You have a lot of other responsibilities, but instead of going through these 46 resumes, I think that's a part of the HR. I mean, HR, we have department, and this is where I am really lost, that we have a HR and we have an administrator, or I would say acting administrator right now, whose hands are tied, and we ask him to do his job. And it's,
Okay, so.
I think Chester
what
has
is your-
something to-
What is your point?
Let me talk. Are you done?
What is your point?
my point is, when we are going to get real, when we are going to get serious with this village, or we are going to be keep closing our eyes and letting this show run.
All right,
Let me, can I?
now let Chester,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, Chester.
Yeah, you took a lot of my steam, because that was my thing regarding HR. Nicole?
Can I cross this out then? HR?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nicole?
Yes.
You're the HR director.
Manager,
You should be on that committee.
I agree.
Like any other company, the HR director interviews and gives the go-ahead to any hiring. I can't see Rachel being over there. By having her over there on the committee, it's telling me that she's overstaffed.
Correct.
So you're putting her on a committee because her two departments are being run, Public Works and the Water Department. She don't have to be there because she's doing interviewing. Same with Chief Pappas. He's a policeman. He's a newly chief of police. He's got a ton of work. Now what? And Mr. Coker wants to give him 40-some applications to go through. You don't do that in 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days. You gotta, I'll tell you, you get a CSO in a company, they're not interviewing like Mr. Coker wants to interview. You got the president of the company, he's not interviewing like Mr. Coker wants to do. That's your job. I hope you agree with me.
I agree.
I'm glad you agree. You're the one that should pick a staff to help you out
I would.
and maybe confer with Doug.
Okay, hold on, let the mayor say what he's
talk,
gotta say.
This selection committee, this is the first time in the history of Glendale Heights that we are following process. It's a fair process, honest, transparent. No selection committee has been selected in last 30 years. Just mayor was doing, and these trustees did not know what was going on. Now, I want to follow this honest, fair process.
Mayor.
And, listen, let me talk.
Go ahead.
And these applications come to our Nicole, HR manager. She gets that, she has to administer the test, all that test, computer test, all that, typing this and then, everything what we are doing, Mr. Flint is aware of that, and it is with his consent. Yesterday, I talked with my secretary that talk these people, Ms. Nicole, even I asked her to call her to my office, and she said she's gone, 2 days ago, I believe, So what she's doing great job. She's testing, she's not isolated, when we hired previous, that lady became number one, she was hired. Again, computer, typing, all those, tests, she's handling.
And there was a committee made for that.
Yeah, selection committee is.
Selection committee was
made,
made, right.
Yeah.
There's a selection committee made for almost every high-level hire that we have, right?
For almost every position we have.
Yes, so almost every position that we have, there's a selection committee made. I would not agree with your statement that I consented to this committee. I asked you who you wanted on it. You told me who you wanted on it, and I just said, okay, right? Because I'm not arguing with the mayor. You give me a directive, I'm following your directive. So, but we have committees for the last executive secretary that was hired was done by committee. Every position that's done here is, almost every position is done by committee. So, we have a process that we go through, and it almost always runs through the HR department to handle all of the applications, all the testing, all the interviews. So everything is done standardized and formalized and all done within, the confines of the law and everything else. So, I'm not arguing with you, I'm just making commentary to just correct kind of the record about how we hire here in Glendale Heights, because everything goes through a process, and it goes through the same process through HR.
And first you was working for police, right? Your former chief,
Yes.
And you did not know what was going on in village, You were doing your process, police department.
No, I've been part of many interview panels to hire people.
The same part, Mr. Chief, he's part of this committee,
Right, but
So
HR
he's
was also,
involved,
but HR was also the main component of
The
those.
main she's working on that, test all those, she's taking that,
But she's not part of the interview process, neither am I.
I
Or
mean,
the
if-
selection
if-
process.
If you want, you can come in, I mean,
Well,
Yes.
that's not the point.
yes.
The point is that, if I went for a job, let's say I went for an IDOT job, I don't go to the yard and tell the superintendent, here's my application, hire me. I go to the main office where the HR are, personnel, which what we call them personnel. They do all the paperwork. They do everything, and then they say, okay, Pat, you're getting Ed Pope tomorrow morning in your yard. I say, okay, that's the guy I'm getting. I have no say who that guy is. It's coming from the personnel office. So our personnel office is the administrator and Nicole. Everybody should run through the personnel office, say, okay, John Doe, okay, Mayor Coker, this guy, John Doe, he's well qualified, passed all the tests, he did all the exam. This is the guy we recommend for the village of Glendale Heights, Mayor. Then you look at it and you say, okay, I trust my people, because believe me, if you want to make it, you have to surround yourself with good people. If you surround yourself with bad people, you're going to go right down the drain. So I say, okay, Doug, okay, you say this guy's good. Yeah, he's good. Okay, put him on.
No, it's not putting mine.
That is the process of how you do it.
This process is handled by Ms. Nicole. And last time, excuse me, when I am talking, please don't laugh at me. Please. You are the only one person among all these, you are laughing.
Let the mayor speak. Let the mayor speak.
In last, that process, she was involved. She gave me final list, These are the candidate who passed test, Yes or no, Ms. Nicole?
That's correct.
Yeah. And Mr. Maron was the same way. Now, Mr. Flint, I talk with him, Even I talked with my secretary yesterday, day before, that talk with, Ms. Nicole. She can come to me, talk, that these are the candidates, because there are like not 46, there are over 90 applicants,
98.
Yeah, over 90, I said, 98. So almost, we cannot test, everybody. So testing is done by Ms. Nicole, Human Resources,
So
Yeah. So we want to keep that there. In that, I have not interfered, and I will not interfere.
So we've whittled that 98 number down to 43. And we've submitted those 43 applicants to your committee for you, the committee, to make into a number that we can actually test. And that, the testing process for this position takes about 2.5 hours. You okay?
Yeah.
So the testing process takes about 2.5 hours. So we can't, it's not like we can test 10 people a day, we can test 2 people a day.
Right.
So it's gonna take a while for us to test 43 people, which would be, 3 months. So the committee has been given the applications and resumes so that they can whittle that number down to a manageable level, 10, 12, 8, whatever that number is. We'll then set up the appointments for testing. But then the committee is going to be up to the committee to set up interviews and all that kind of stuff. So, you have 4 on the committee. We're turning kind of everything over to you. You tell us how you want us to proceed with who you want us to test, and we'll set all that up.
We can discuss that, I know, that's not a problem, I am open, to everybody,
Okay.
We can discuss, even, Ms., Romano, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did I talk with you that, these, call, Ms. Nicole to my office so we can talk, And she was gone?
Yeah, I think it was after 4:30.
Yes. And did I say, that, if Mr. Flint or Ms. Nicole, they want to add more people, they can do, This is my answer.
Okay.
And we did.
Yeah.
So that's why you're having
But
43.
still we can talk,
All right.
that is not a big issue.
Okay, we're having a great conversation.
Yeah.
Chester, one more thing, go ahead.
One quick question regarding the committee. Nicole, I want you to head the committee up for, coming from HR, and select your 2 or 3 people that you need. The committee that was appointed by Mr. Coker, I don't want.
No, we're gonna let Chester,
Can you
we are a
discipline?
board. We're a board.
So,
So we have to act like a board. Let the mayor sit down with Doug and Nicole, figure something out, which I know you guys could.
so the position of the mayor doesn't have the authority to hire.
Right, exactly,
That comes through the administration.
right, exactly. Exactly. So why? Let him have some, excuse me, Kim, let him have, let him have some input. I know who hires, who fires, who gives days off. I know the whole system. But let him put some input in what you guys
Well, I
are
think-
doing. You run it because that's your job. That's
think-
what we pay you for.
I think the mayor and the board should have input into the secretary to the mayor and the board.
Right.
Right. Okay. So why can't we do that?
We can. The mayor made it a committee.
Chief Pappas, do you want to be removed from that committee?
Okay, wait. Can't. Okay, let me ask you, what do you want to do?
All
All right, no, I'll put you, what do you want to do, Mayor?
Before that, for the committee, I sent email to trustee Siddiqui, and his answer was, I'm too busy, and you have senior trustees.
You never asked me
I
that,
have,
sorry.
I have emailed.
You never asked me about this thing. You said
Not
that
this thing,
you.
not
we
this
ain't
thing,
gonna
not
get
this thing.
nowhere.
Because I have a job.
But
and
before that.
Didn't I give you the option that you can email me? You never emailed me. Yes, this is.
Excuse me, Mohammed, go ahead, Doug, what you
No,
gonna
I
say?
just want to stay on track here because it's.
Be nice.
Right. What do you want to do, Mayor?
No, I want to talk, I want to sit with, Mr. Flint or Nicole. I called her, 2 days ago, in my office, and she was gone, like, after 4:30 something.
I was not notified of this meeting, and it must have been after 4:30.
Yeah,
So-
it was 4:30.
Okay, so you guys are all get together, right? This is on record now. You guys are gonna sit down and talk about this
And, you know,
and do the process.
since
Go
Mayor,
ahead, Mohammed.
since Mayor loves me so much, if he wants me in that committee, I'm open for that. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
open for
Mike?
that, yeah.
I was just gonna say, I just want to go on record saying that the committee has always been done. We've always had a committee for hiring many people. I know that for a fact. And I think that the people who, I mean, on that committee, I believe, so far, Mary's the only one I can honestly say that needs to be there. And the mayor needs to be there because we have to work with this person. We all have to be able to do it. But we need Nicole and we need Doug there because they have to work with this person also. And this person is a key part to everything that's functioning. And it's important that we pick the right person that we can all work with.
That's what we pay him for.
Right.
That is his job.
And I think the mayor wanted the chief to be on it, didn't you, Mayor?
I mean, I believe, I'm confident
That was-
on his, the way he's working. I'm proud of hiring him, promoting him as a chief. I'm proud of having Mr. Flint as a, AVA. So
Okay.
I'm
Settle
open.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna move
And
on.
other is, first process is done by Ms. Nicole. I don't know why says she's isolated. She's not. Everything is, testing is done by her, No, there's no intervention by me or by any trustee or by any employee, She's all in all.
So
She has all that
But
test,
the testing is separate from the interview process.
Right.
So the interview process is being handled by the committee, right?
Right.
And the HR manager and administration is there to ensure that the process is done within the confines of how we do things with the HR policy, and that nothing is done outside the policy of HR, and that we do everything the same for every interviews that we do, not question-wise, but policy-wise.
Right.
So we have consistency.
Right.
And that's the whole point of HR and administration being part of the interview process for almost every position in the village when it comes to a panel,
Right.
so that the process is the same in every committee that we do.
Okay.
Oh,
We're gonna
I mean,
move on.
I have put one trustee, one member from board. She's a competent person.
Oh, she should be, a
She's
trustee
on
should be
that.
on the committee.
So one trustee, two directors, and one Mr. Peppers.
We should also put Mary Schmidt also. She has a lot of experience,
She was in last.
She was, but she should be in this committee as well. I would
Now there should
recommend-
be everybody, why not? Whole village should be on that.
Why not?
You
Yeah.
should be there.
Oh,
Yeah.
since you love me so much, I'll be happy.
No, I
I'll be
don't-
happy
listen,
in that.
Listen, I don't love you, I don't hate you.
No,
You are
but
trustee,
if you need
trustee,
me in
you're
that
not.
committee, yes,
Okay,
I am
guys,
open.
okay,
All
we're
right.
gonna
All
move
right,
on.
let's
We're
go.
gonna
Yeah, let's move
move
on.
on to this. What's left? Mike,
Nothing.
no, nothing's, you said ComEd,
I got it all screwed up, I'm sorry.
that's done. You went from number 1 to 3, but that's okay,
I
Mike.
did all of them in one
Okay.
sorry, guys.
Jester
Done.
had it, Murray had nothing. Okay, I need a motion to adjourn then.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we need a roll call?
Because we read that thing at the beginning and. we
Okay,
do-
roll call,
We
roll
should
call,
roll call
please.
Tracy, please.
Okay, trustee Light,
Mm-hmm.
trustee Mercado,
Yes.
trustee Pojek,
Yes.
trustee Schroeder,
Yes.
trustee Schmidt,
Yes.
trustee Siddiqui.
Yes.
President Coker.
Yes.